Brian Sandberg. A hot bat. A gold glove. And a great set of wheels.
An Easter Sunday special presentation.
Never different nails into a man's flesh.
Richard Burton stars in The Robe.
They say he's the Son of God.
The Roman Tribune who won the Holy Garment of Christ, which almost drove him mad.
No, he was crucified and buried, and that was the end of him.
That was the beginning.
Gene Simmons and Victor Mature star with Richard Burton in The Robe. Easter Sunday at 6 on Channel 9.
I'm in the booth with Bill Murray, who's an interesting fellow. Some of you know him from the Little League here around the Chicago area in Wilmette. Some of you know him from stage and screen, but a lot of them don't know the fact that you can hit the baseball pretty well. We've got some pictures of you before the game. How did it feel like taking some swings?
Well, I felt real good. I was looking for a fastball, and I got it, and I was just very fortunate to get good wood on it and drive it out into the outfield.
But then they try to knock you down. What happened here?
Well, they respect me, and they try to, you know, they try to take the outside corner of the plate for themselves, see what happened there, and of course, well, that hurt a little bit, but I've got a lot of personal problems, and they know I've got a bad hand, and look at this guy. He's pitching away from me. He tries to hit me, then he won't throw me a decent pitch, and then he finally does, and I groove it. And he knows he'll never throw me that pitch again.
Well, pretty exciting. The fact that you hit with no spikes on, has that been your style through the majority of your career?
Yeah, I never hit. I rubber spikes was as good as it ever really got for me, but without spikes, it psychologically it plays havoc with the other team. When they realize I don't even wear a uniform, they don't know what to expect.
Now, I know you've been a Cub fan for a long time. You said, in fact, that since birth, right?
Yes, since birth. I was baptized Cub fan.
Now it's a beautiful day here today, something that you haven't seen in the last couple of days. You've been watching the broadcasts?
I've been watching these last two, and it looks so cold out there, and it's beautiful today, except up here in the booth where there is no sun, and we live like worms.
I know tremendous preparation for this job. I know you probably went over the lineup of the Montreal Expos and know everything there is to know about this Montreal club.
Well, I spent the first couple hours I got here today just trying to figure out where the smoking links are. They don't have smoking links, ladies and gentlemen. They don't have smoking links anymore. I'm eating one of these David Berg hot dogs. Dave Berg's a great man, but he never made a smoking link.
It's going to be a tough day for you then.
Well, I usually start with a smoky link. They used to have a smoky link guy grilling them right down there on the third base side. They had an outdoor grill there. Except there was a fire one day, and that was sad for the smoky links, I guess. I don't know, but they're gone.
Okay, how many you want to leave?
Everything's okay now?
Better.
Oh, good. It should be interesting today. The Cubs looking for their first win of the year, and we've had some guys in the booth who have not been able to bring the Cubs their first win at Wrigley Field. Do you think you can do that today?
Well, I don't look for any problems today because it's a beautiful day. This is Cub weather. I think psychologically these Montreal people are here, and they're playing the game in English down here. I think they'll be confused, they'll be rattled, and the Cubs will be able to get to them early and hold on.
A lot of folks don't know that you were a catcher, but you've already secured Harry's net. Does that mean that any foul ball in this area is going to be snagged by you?
Well, I think Jody Davis had better watch out because I think I can see a way to get down there just swinging from the rafters. And if I have to, I'll take it away from him.
Looked like you felt pretty comfortable up at bat.
I did feel pretty comfortable until he threw that one right at my stomach. I mean, the stomach is, I live on my stomach, and David Berg, you know, knows that as well as anybody. I swing pretty good, especially when I'm loose. You know, I had a lot of chewing gum early this morning, and I was really ready.
Well, Glenn Brummer said that you being a big star and all, making all that money, that he was going to get you. If he got a chance to get you, he was going to get you, but you moved a little too quickly for him.
Glenn Brummer is the guy who's throwing batting practice. Anybody sees this guy's car out in the parking lot, I want you to see if you can open it.
A lot of friends and family around the Chicagoland area. Did you have to leave any passes at the game today?
Yeah, a lot of relatives that I generally don't hear from are going to be here at the game today. Yeah, they're out there today, and I notified the people with Andy Frayne that there could be some problems.
So hold down the crowd?
Well, we've got some sort of a water gun, like a fire cannon that the fire department here of the Nice Ephelona, and it's stationed right behind where my immediate family is.
Well, it should be an interesting ball game. The Cubs looking for their first win, and you stay with us because we're going to have a look at the starting pitchers after these messages.
We're putting a hot one within your reach. A 1988 Chevy Beretta. Whatever you do, don't miss it.
On the mound today for Montreal, Floyd Yeomans. He had a tough spring. He wasn't throwing the ball very hard, but this young man's fastball is timed in the low 90s. And he'll be opposed by Rick Sutcliffe, whose last time out in Philadelphia was a gem. He threw 8 innings. He gave up 1 run. Had a tough time the first game. He walked 7 in a little over 2 innings. So it'll be interesting today. A beautiful day to pitch and an exciting day in Wrigley Field with Bill Murray. Stay tuned for baseball.
Today's leadoff man has been brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers, who invite you to see the 1988 Corsica and Beretta.
Magnifying glasses, get your magnifying glasses. Announcing North Shore Refrigeration's famous chips, bumps, and dent sale. Where's the dent? 20, 30, even 50% off slightly blemished major appliances, complete with full warranty. You won't need a magnifying glass to see the savings. This touch control Amana microwave oven with 650 watts of cooking power, only $1.99. North Shore Refrigeration's chips, bumps, and dent sale at all locations. Where's the dent?
I'm Tom Skilling. Is it possible we have the warmest air of the season on the way? It looks that way just in time for the holiday weekend. We'll have the full holiday forecast tonight on the 9 o'clock.
You know, T.S. Eliot, the poet, once said, April is the cruelest month. But I don't think even that great man would have anticipated that the Cubs would lose their first 4 at home. I'm here today to turn this around, and I think with the help of the overrated and not such a big deal after all, Montreal Expos, the Cubs will triumph today. A beautiful day here at the true Wrigley Building at the corner of Clark and Addison. Today it's baseball, the Cubs and the Expos.
Participating advertisers in Cubs baseball are Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. True Value Hardware. More than just a name, it's their way of doing business. Your Chicagoland and Northern Indiana Better Buick dealer. Wouldn't you really rather have a Buick? The Chicago Tribune. A great city deserves a great newspaper. Your neighborhood Unical 76 dealers, who invite you to go with the spirit of 76. Pepsi. The choice of a new generation. Donnelly Directory, publishers of the Ameritech Pages Plus. United Airlines, you're not just flying, you're flying the friendly sky. Canon, the official camera of the Chicago Cubs. And your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers.
How's the new home, Mrs. Dixon?
Oh, great, Chauncey. Except for my puny-looking lawn.
Dare say it needs nourishment.
Oh.
And Spectricide's lawn food makes it easy. Just attach the free Spectricide sprayer to your garden hose.
Easy. No mixing, no mess.
In no time, you'll have a beautiful green lawn.
Oh, Chauncey, you always have all the answers.
Spectricide has all the answers. For a healthier, greener lawn, Spectricide. Most efficacious.
Hello fast, hello hot, just a little is all I got.
Say hello to a fast meal hot deal from Taco Bell. A burrito supreme and our regular taco for just $1.79. The fast meal hot deal.
You drive safely now.
Now just $1.79. Be there.
The guys
guy's a victim of a multiple system deal his company made. Now management can't get operations help. PC users can't get the power they want. He's mad at his vendors. He's mad at me. It's nobody's fault. Anyway, I recommend the Wang VS. Don't trash his old systems. Get management what they need. Bring all his PC users together. Keep his meat and potatoes applications. Just tie it all together with a VS. Perfect. And he saw that. When he saw that, tears came into his eyes. Come on. Well, sort of.
Steve Stone back at Wrigley Field with Bill Murray, and when he's not busting ghosts, he's a fledgling baseball broadcaster, and he said he wanted the full experience here today. So, Bill, we're going to give you the full experience because we have some time before the game. There's some changing problems with the umpire. So the first thing you have to know is how to do the lineups, and we're going to have you give the folks the opening lineups for today.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Hello, everybody. Starting for the Expos in left field, Casey Candell. He's no good. In right field is Mitch Webster. He's no good. At first is Andre. How would you folks at home say that name? Andre Galarraga. Tim Wallach's at third. Jeff Reed is catching. Vance Law is overrated. He's at second base. Tom Foley shouldn't even be playing. He's at shortstop. Herman Winningham. What, you're going to be afraid of a guy named Herman Winningham? We'll just throw it right down the plate when he's up. And Floyd Humans will be pitching. That's the easy part. They're no good. Shouldn't be a problem. And then for the Cubs, the almighty Chico Walker in left field. Come on, let's hear it for him. Come on, everybody up. Chico Walker. Come on. Ryan Sandberg. Come on, let's hear it for him. Andre Dawson. Come on, I know he was an Expo, but he's okay now. Come on. Keith Moreland's going to play. Come on, yeah, everybody. Zonko. Leon the Bull Durham at first base. Jody Davis. Yeah, he'll be catching. Dave Martinez is in center. Sean Dunston is playing short. And Rick Sutcliffe, the tall guy with a beard, will be pitching.
Now, after doing the lineups and looking at the names of the various clubs here,
I don't think there's any question, but the names on the Cubs are a lot easier to pronounce, and they seem to be more like baseball players' names.
Is it going to throw you off your timing, the fact that there's going to be 2 national anthems today?
That's confused me. Frankly, I love the O Canada national anthem because there's only like 10 words to it, and I wish they'd let me sing it. It's one of the goofiest national anthems I've ever heard. It makes the national anthem of the United States sound like Beethoven's Ninth. It's just ridiculous. They've only got 5 words in the song, and they just keep saying them over and over again. And I hope you Canadian folks call up and say something to whoever's in charge in your country about that theme song here. But, Steve, the real problem today is that there's a delay because of the umpires getting dressed. Now, what is it that umpires do when they dress? I mean, how many problems can they have? It's basically the one color that they're wearing, right? It's not like they're holding up different sport coats in front of the mirror and saying, well, Jocko, what do you think of this look? I mean, what do you think?
Well, what happened is that you have one of the biggest umpires in the league behind the plate, Eric Gregg, today. Yesterday we saw John McSherry, Eric Gregg behind the plate today. If you're that size of a man, sometimes you have some problems dressing, and it's going to take a little bit till they get on the field. And in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about your ownership of ball clubs. Now, you've owned 7 teams during the course of your career. It has to be an interesting experience doing that.
Well, that's loosely saying owned. Should I get that? I'll get it.
No! Forget it! Go away!
No.
You can run, but you can't hide.
They want you. No, I don't really. I've never owned a team. I own like a couple of seats. You know, not a very big deal at all. I've just been in it for the fun of it. I have a friend who's very active, and I get to come along and sit and eat for free pretty much at the games. I own a little piece. But this year I have a little piece of a team in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, the Pittsfield Cubs. This is the closest I've been to actually having decent seats at a Cub game. I will have good seats at a game in Pittsfield, Massachusetts this year.
As a broadcaster, you have to learn to be a good color man. I want you to critique.
It's a hard gig, ladies and gentlemen. It's tough being up here.
Take a look at this style. Before the game, you think this guy can hit?
Well, I don't know if he can hit, but the guy's got a lot of desire. I mean, the fact that his hand is in great physical pain, and he still sits there and swings in front of people who are laughing at him all around the cage. They're laughing and taunting at him, saying, "Go back where you came from, you punk." You know, you got to want it in this league. You got to want it to make it in the bigs.
Is there any hope for this guy?
Well, I think perhaps in another profession there's hope. I don't see any. I mean, look, they're attacking his manhood out there.
Now, did that aggravate you, the fact that he was?
Huh? Yeah, and I took him deep. I took him deep right after that.
Obviously throwing at you. There's no doubt about that.
Well, if there had been an umpire in this game, they would have thrown that batting practice pitcher out, I think, or warned him. Somebody should have done something. They should have warned him about what was going to happen. Look at that. Look at that. You saw that. Play that again. Arnie, can you play that again? My gosh.
We're going to come back to that.
Wait a second. Arnie.
What do you think?
All right, forget it. Well, I think she's got a future. I don't know if it's in baseball, but she got a future.
Okay, let's take a look one more time. We got the slow motion camera out.
Yeah. There's a piece of scorched earth out in left field where that ball came to rest, Steve.
A rocket off the bat, and you said before that he's not going to throw you that pitch again. Did you teach Glenn Brummer a lesson?
Huh? No, but he learned it, but I think there are bigger issues at stake here with him. I think he's really got to find out whether he really wants to pay the ultimate price. You know, to throw it down the middle and not be afraid for me to hit a line drive right back at him. I'm really concerned about this gigantic umpire getting into this thing. Now, can the folks at home expect, like, the world's largest man to be behind the plate today?
No, but I think they'll see one of the bigger umpires in the game.
I mean, he's awfully large. Is he going to come through those big green doors out in the wall, out in left center? Arnie, can we get a shot of those big... Oh, there's Rick Sutcliffe. Show one of those big green doors on the wall. Is this where this umpire is going to come out from? You can see that there's a lot of people who are just sitting right above there. I guess they're expecting him to make his entrance.
Any moment now. And we took a look at Rick Sutcliffe. Now, you've been a big Rick Sutcliffe fan. What do you think of the redhead?
Oh, I saw that home run he hit in the playoff game. That was one of the greatest moments of my life when he hit that ball out in the street 2 years ago. I think that was probably the greatest moment in his life, too.
Well, he's 1-1 this year, and he had a big moment in Philadelphia when he threw the ball very well. How do you like his chances in 1987 season?
Well, I think his chances are much better than mine, Steve. But I think he looks really good. He seemed really confident in the dugout, and he wasn't even bothering to drink coffee or anything. He seems pretty good. He seems loose. And I mean, what do I know? I mean, I'm a professional actor, but if I were going to hit against Rick Sutcliffe today, I would pretty much hit the dirt and try not to be hit by a fastball.
Oh, he said he'd never hit you. He's a hell of a guy. And one of the things you have to talk about when you talk about Bill Murray is the fact that this man was a catcher in the Wilmette Little League, and we got the scouting report on Bill Murray. I understand you were one of the real stars of the ball club.
Well, I'm really most famous for being kicked out of the Little League in Wilmette. I was one of the few people kicked out of Little League, but I was reinstated because my mother was friends with Mrs. Bordas, whose husband started Little League in Wilmette. I was reinstated, and that was the most exciting baseball experience for me. Was reinstated, and the whole board, the Wilmette Little League, had to come to the first game back, and they said they're all behind the cage, and this is the boy, number 15. This is him, the Murray boy. And I hit a home run my first time at bat that game, and I remember thinking, yeah, that's right, boys. If it hadn't been for you reinstating me, baseball wouldn't have had a player like me.
We talk a lot about daylight here in Wrigley Field because that's all the Cubs play under. What do you think about playing all-day games? Do you think it's an advantage or a disadvantage?
Well, I think it's a disadvantage if you like to party all night because it means that you don't necessarily play your best. And I think it means that the Cubs probably have less fun than a lot of the other teams in the league. But it also means that their nights are free when they're here in town. So, you know, it's really mixed. I don't think you can say they've lost a pennant because they didn't have enough fun during the season. I think it's really on the road, you know, the first game back after a road trip. I think I know what I'm talking about in this area.
Well, I think that Harry's always appreciated the day games. He's always been a gentleman who enjoyed some of the nightlife here in Chicago. We'll be back with the ball game, the lineups, a little more talk with Bill Murray after these messages.
Making tough jobs easier takes one tough tractor Cub Cadet. Just put us to the test. We're one tough tractor Cub Cadet.
Automatic drive makes handling easy. A cast iron front axle and a farm engineered transmission makes it last. For doing the chores you need to do, it's Cub Cadet. One tough tractor. At your Cub Cadet dealer.
Terminex, I found this beam crumbling in the basement. I think it's termites. You can almost hear them inside the wood. They're going, my wife can explain it. Yeah. See, like that. They're wrecking the place.
If the thought of termites is bugging you, call Terminex. We'll keep your entire home safe from any termite damage. And we guarantee it.
They're gone. No more.
Terminex. No more bugs, no more worries.
Every day I'm trying harder. My goal is pleasing you.
When you rent a car from Avis, it comes with a lot of people who want to make sure you're satisfied. Reservation and counter people, mechanics, managers and maintenance people. They're Avis. see them. But they're there.
Rent a Cadillac from Avis for only $45 a day.
We're back at beautiful Wrigley Field. Steve Stone along with color commentator Bill Murray today. This is the first real nice day the Cubs have had at home. A gentle breeze blowing in. A good day to pitch. And take a look at the bleachers. And Bill, you were saying before the game that this is your most favorite place to sit in this ballpark.
Well, it's where the sun is, Steve, and there you'll see like guys with their shirts off and men spilling. Yeah, there they are. These are relatives of mine. Hello. Hi. They'll all be at the big party back at my mom's later. They're well-behaved gentlemen, prep school kids mostly. And as you can see, they pretty much dress for the weather. I don't know why they don't catch them in that big basket out there. Yeah, that's right. That's one of my cousins. He's crazy. Now, where are these kids now, Arnie? Left field bleachers. Now, these are the more safe, and they're pretty safe and sane out there. These are the number ones. The very dangerous ones are in right field. I think that's where the real criminal element comes in. These are people who take bad falls down the stairs and don't really know. And I think that leads to confusion. People hear a big roar and think they've missed something, and it turns out it's someone who's just bounced all the way down to the front row. But look at how well-behaved these people are here today. And I noticed that they cut off beer here after the 8th inning, and I think that's a great rule. I really do. And I'm not going on a soapbox here, Steve, and I hope you don't think I am, but anybody who can't get drunk at the ballgame before the 8th inning doesn't belong to be here anyway. I don't think. If you can't get smacked, you can get here for the batting practice. I mean, what's the problem? I don't see any problem here. It means the beer vendors can go home early and watch the exciting innings too. So I think it's good for the game.
Well, they're also going to cut off the beer in the booth, so you got 8 innings. Go get them.
Okay. All right. Well, I got here early, so I'm not worried. Well, what's that? That's out on the catwalk in right? Is that what it is? Yeah, that's right. No, look how well behaved they are. There, you don't see anybody pouring any beer on anybody. The game hasn't started yet.
Bill, you've been a Cub fan for so many years, and over the years, your favorite Cub ball player?
Well, if you said anybody but Mr. Cub, I think you'd be lying to yourself. But I used to like Sammy Taylor. I used to like Sammy Taylor, and I always wondered what would have happened to the Cubs if Merritt Renew hadn't been injured in that play at the plate. He was a great catcher, and I liked the way he hit.
And you love the name. That's a good name to say, Merritt Renew.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a lot easier to say, for example, than Andre Galarraga of the Montreal Expos.
Or Casey Candel, for that matter.
Yeah. But, I mean, with Ernie Banks, I certainly made it worth coming home after school for many years for me. So.
Take a look at a lot of young Cub fans as Arnie pans around for you. This Expo Ball Club off to a pretty tough start. They're 2-5. And there you take a look at a man facing his former mates for the first time. Andre Dawson, he met with a lot of his former teammates before the game. And to a man, they all wished him well because he's a guy that's very popular with the players, a man who put together some big numbers while he was a member of the Montreal Expos, and a guy who's come over here now thinking that this ballpark, these fans, the fact that there's day games and natural turf, is going to mean a few more years to him over the course of his career. Everybody asked what Dawson was doing as far as the Expo players were concerned, and he's done a pretty good job so far. He's shown the Cubs defensively. He still has a whole lot left in those legs. And Andre Dawson, I believe if he stays healthy, he's going to be a big contributing factor to this team. There's a couple of your fans waiting for some baseballs.
I saw these kids when I came in, and they were looking at my car at the hubcaps. I don't think they're here to play baseball at all. I think this is have we got a phone here? Can we get somebody at the Halstead Street lockup to get these kids? Look at them. They're trying to steal the nuts out of get out of that tree! Hey! Trying to steal the nuts, the buds out of the tree so that tree would never grow. I think that's sick.
Well, the ever-vigilant Arnie Harris is going to keep an eye on these fellas all game.
Thanks, Arnie.
Make sure that your car is intact by the time you have to drive home.
Now, tell me something, Steve. Has a player ever playing against his old teammates like Andre Dawson, has he ever played a game and gone like 0 for 4 and they've given him back to the other team right then and there? Has that ever happened?
I don't think that Dallas Green wants to do that today. I think he's pretty happy with Andre Dawson. And as you look at Buck Rogers, he's going to be a little disappointed in the fact that his team didn't stay healthy. He's got Tim Burke on the disabled list. He's got Mike Fitzgerald on the DL, Bryn Smith on the disabled list, as well as Hubie Brooks. And that was a big loss, giving one of your favorite players, Tom Foley, a chance to play today.
Tom Foley shouldn't even be in the major leagues, and he knows it. He's lying to himself, and he really should go back into some sort of community service in his hometown.
And on that encouraging note, the national anthem.
All right.
the true and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. All stayed as the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Wayne Messmer with the national anthem, and Bill Murray standing right next to me did a very fine job with both anthems. When did you learn the Canadian national anthem?
Well, when I was in the second city, we did 2 months at the second city in Toronto, and you can't help but learn that song. There's only about 11 words in the song, and they play it for breakfast up there. But believe me, I think it's fair to say, would you fight a war for that country and that national anthem? I wouldn't. I prefer to fight for others. Right.
Well, there's a good look at Bill Murray, a resplendent fellow today in his gold and black. Pittsburgh was here yesterday. You're wearing the wrong color.
Well, my mother dressed me, and she's slightly colorblind. This is what we go with here.
She kind of excited about you coming up here doing some broadcasting today?
Well, I look out there, and I could have predicted my mother wouldn't be here on time, and she's not here yet. It's just like the 10:15 at St. Joe's. It doesn't make any difference. I can start at 10:30. She's not going to make it.
But you do have the Cub hat on.
Yeah, I got the Cub hat. I got a caddy hat from Augusta. I was down watching the golf tournament. I got a caddy hat, so I'm an official caddy now. I can get an extra 25 cents a bag now with the hat. But what a great day. I wish we were sitting in the sun drinking instead of drinking up here, Steve.
Well, you know, if you were doing this with Harry, you'd be out in the bleachers, and you'd be pretty excited, either in left or center field bleachers. He kind of likes to go out there 3 or 4 times a year, and that's where the people are. He enjoys it out there.
That's living out there. I don't know why they don't have more mandatory city holidays. I think if this Harold Washington really wants to do something for this city, he'll get more mandatory city holidays and get these people, get these city workers who are sitting down wasting our money anyway, and get them at least backing the Cubs, which I think would be good for civic pride. Oh, yeah. Look there's my mother. No, she won't be here for a few more minutes. She's late. Look at that. Those are the kids from Boys Town out in Nebraska. Isn't that fantastic? And he carried his brother all the way from Lincoln, Nebraska. Fantastic story. Heartwarming Cub fans.
Pretty good crowd here today. They're still coming in. There's a chance for your mother to make it. They're delaying the game a little bit.
No, if I know her, she's gotten into some sort of a pushing incident on the L, and she probably won't make it at all.
Now, you found out a little bit about the experience of broadcasting. They brought up a pizza before the game.
Excuse me, Steve, I can't help but notice these handsome-looking gentlemen coming out in these fabulous outfits. That was a delicious pizza, but that does not look like a man who has a lot of trouble deciding what to wear. I bet he doesn't have a closet that's half full. What do you think? Now, which one, if you had to guess, had the trouble? Can you get a shot of all the umpires? Which one looks like he has the most trouble getting dressed? Look at these two guys dressed and on time, and then there are these fellas here. I mean, he's got that jacket on. Who knows? Maybe he's got a ripped, blood-stained shirt underneath there. Who knows what happened in the dugout?
There's 50% of the umpiring crew. There you look at Doug Harvey, Jerry Davis, and they're slowly emerging.
It's obviously going to be the last man out, and the Cubs are certainly waiting to see what's happened here.
They're pretty excited, aren't they?
I don't know. It must have been there must have been a lot of hollering that we couldn't hear up here, a lot of screaming and yelling. I hope there's nobody really hurt. I think if he was that large, they may be trying to like grease the walls of the clubhouse door for him to get through.
The most amazing part of it, Bill, is it took him all this time to come out dressed like that.
Now, wait a second. There's Jamie Moyers. The kid almost pitched a no-hitter. Get that guy away from him. He could fall.
There is Eric Gregg.
I think the picture speaks for itself, folks. It looks like some sort of a breakdancing accident. His lower knees are encased in catcher's shin pads. Of course, that's the home plate umpire, but he looks like he's moving with some sort of robotic legs. Some sort of bionic operation, perhaps performed by one of his fellow umpires before the game.
Never a dull moment here. The umpiring crew is Eric Gregg behind the plate, Jerry Davis at first, Doug Harvey at second, and Dick Stello at third base. And as you can see, the umpiring gear never got here from the umpire's last stop. So they're stuck kind of finding out whatever they can find in the umpiring room, throwing it on and coming out. I don't think you've ever seen an umpire behind home plate wearing his shin guards outside of his uniform. So this might be a first here today.
Well, I saw it once in a baseball game in Italy.
And the Cubs are taking the field, and everybody in the stands welcoming them, encouraging them, trying to get them home for the first time at Wrigley Field. The Cubs are 0-4. First time that's happened since 1962, and Bill Murray pledges that he's here to turn it around today.
Well, they're going to win today, or there'll be a serious industrial accident out there on the field today. Oh, 1962. Ouch.
There's a look at the defense. Chico Walker in left field, Dave Martinez in center field, Andre Dawson in right field, Keith Moreland at third, Dunston at short, Sandberg at second, Durham at first, Rick Sutcliffe on the mound, and Jody Davis behind the plate. Jody caught Rick in his first ball game when he didn't have too much control, and then Jim Sundberg took over in Rick's second game when he threw the ball so very well. Now they're making a change. Big Eric Gregg making a change of shin guards, trying to get himself all situated before going out there. Apparently, the first pair of shin guards were a little too short for him, so Jody is going to volunteer a pair of his, and Eric Gregg is going to get the equipment just exactly right before going out there.
Well, you know, we talked about this before the game, Steve, and I was talking in the radio booth, and I think that the umpires are influenced by the home field advantage. I said to Lou Boudreau, a great Hall of Famer who I'm sure agreed with me, that when you've got the umpires staying in your town, you can alter the accommodations they get in their hotel room in such a way that they're going to be a little more lenient with the balls and strikes. And I think if Eric Gregg knows which side his bread is buttered on, and looking at Eric, I would say this is a guy who butters his bread on both sides. I think he's going to give the Cubs the benefit of the balls and strikes today. I think they'll Expos just may as well pack it up and just, you know, intentional walk a couple of people, let the first thing go out of the park, and then we'll phone the rest of the game in.
They can certainly use a little help today coming into this one, and Gregg is having some problems finding any pair of shin guards that are going to fit him. They're trying everything. You bring any shin guards to the park for this man?
I don't know. Perhaps we should make an announcement to the fans here. Hey, has anybody got any shin guards for a really big guy? Well, maybe they heard that. Maybe they didn't. Let's hope so. No, really big. Those aren't big enough. Much, much bigger. This is nice that WGN is now a satellite station. That means that people all over the world can see this man try to find some sort of protection from the balls and strikes.
And he still hasn't been able to find it because he's still looking for something. There he goes. He's trying to find a mask to fit him.
It's amazing that in this computerized age, a man can still be afraid to take a foul tip on the toe like this.
Did you wear a mask when you caught?
No, I thought it wasn't macho enough.
Last year, the Cubs were 8-10 against the Expos overall, 4-5, both home and away. And there you take a look at Jody Davis. Now that Eric Gregg is ready, the Cubs all ready to go. You know one thing, Rick Sutcliffe has to be certainly warmed up at this point. He's been throwing quite a long time, and I'm sure he wants to get off to a good start here. He wants to get the ball over early, and Herm Starrett, talking with both Sutcliffe and Jody Davis, encouraged both of them to throw all of his pitches early. Don't fall in love with the fastball, and try to get the breaking ball over the plate early in the count. We're going to ask you to evaluate these players as they come up after they take a couple swings. And in your professional opinion, what do you think about their careers?
Okay. Who's this stiff that's coming up here to bat against Rick?
This is Casey Candiel, off to a very quick start, hitting .455. Now you take a look at Casey. He started 2 games in the outfield for the Expos, and they won them both.
Well, Casey's at the bat today. The outlook's a little bit gloomy, my friend. Yeah. No, he doesn't frighten me.
Sutcliffe a 5.06 ERA, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. Fastball misses inside.
Hey, what's with that ump? What's the deal here, man? Those are Jody's shin pads, pal. Hey.
Foul back this way. Get the net out, Bill.
Where's the damn net? Where's the net?
Kendall, 5'9", 160 pounds, out of Lompoc, California. Last year hit .302 at Indianapolis, .231 as a member of the Montreal Expos. Ground ball to the right side. The Bulls got it, and he'll win the race to the bag. There's the net. You're ready to go. You got it.
We can get anything. We can get popcorn in the balls from the upper deck. We can get just about anything with this thing.
That'll bring up Mitch Webster. Webster hitting .267 with a home run, 2 RBIs. They switched him to right field this year. He was a starting center fielder last year, but they figured to platoon out there, get Winningham some time. And so Webster moved to right, where he says he's feeling a lot more comfortable with every passing day. Good look at Rick Sutcliffe. Outfield straight away. Fastball misses up high. Webster hit .290 last year, 8 home runs, 49 RBIs, and 36 stolen bases. And Sutcliffe falls behind 2-0. Webster have any chance to hit Rick Sutcliffe?
I don't think so. I don't know if you can see this, but from where I'm sitting, it looks like Webster has tobacco juice drooling out of the side of his mouth. And, I mean, the kind of guy who isn't that aware of his... Look at this on the lower left here. Right? Can you see that? Isn't that something, sort of drool coming out of the side of his mouth? He's frightened. He's terrified, and the tobacco ooze is coming out of the side of his mouth. He's not... He doesn't have a chance to hit Rick Sutcliffe, I don't think.
Rick falls behind 3-0. Rick's not giving him a chance to hit him.
Well... I don't think Mitch Webster wants it enough. I don't think he wants to win this game.
Ball 4 outside. So Webster draws a base on ball.
Hey, you big guy!
I bet the guy didn't pass the driving test. I'll bet you $20 right now.
Andres Galarraga steps up, hitting .296. Hasn't hit a home run yet. He has 3 RBIs. Knocked in 21 runs in spring training on 3 homers. Very strong young man. Says his biggest adjustment in the major leagues is learning to hit the ball to right center field. And Sutcliffe with 5 straight bad ones. Galarraga, 6'3", 230 pounds, very powerfully built. Out of Caracas, Venezuela, at .271 last year with 10 home runs, 42 RBIs. And with Hubie Brooks gone, they're looking for power from Galarraga.
You know, these guys from Venezuela always say they're from Caracas, but I bet she's from the suburbs. You know, I bet he's from some bohunk town like 50 miles out of... I bet he's from like... you know, Highwood or someplace like that. Highwood, Venezuela.
Good restaurants in Highwood, Venezuela.
Yeah, one of the few places where you used to be able to buy a 6-pack of beer when you were 12 years old. They do have good restaurants there now.
Runner going. Popped up to the right side.
Oh, you poor soul. Oh, isn't that sad?
And the Expos are out in the first inning. They run into a double play. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. We head into the bottom of the first. There is no score.
Want real truck value from your Toyota dealer? You got it. A great deal on his lowest price 2-buys and 4-buys, you got it. Limited edition trucks with hundreds of dollars in options free, you got that too. The best-selling import trucks in the country. And deals and factory incentives could save you hundreds more. A huge selection. So get the deal you want on the truck you want now. Don't wait. See your Toyota dealer, pick out your truck, and you got it.
If you just ask for a light beer,
give me a light.
you never know what you'll get.
Bud Light.
Nice shot.
Heads up.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, ask for Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
Kincaid is proud to present the Classics. These beautiful bypass tub doors can harmonize with any decor. Made of tempered safety glass, they have a silver-finished aluminum frame that glides easily. And they're available for a song at Builders Square. Just $149. Affordable classics from Kincaid at Builders Square. Because the more we sell, the lower the price. The lower the price, the more we sell.
Save $8 at Sport Mart on Mizuno's Gamer for baseball and softball, just $21.94. Sport Mart guarantees Mizuno for less.
Sport Mart, for the way you play. We can get whatever you want. Okay, good.
Floyd Yeoman's on the mound for the Expos. The hard-throwing right-hander had a disastrous spring. He was set back with some arm problems. He had a death in the family, missed a few days, and quite frankly, Larry Barnhart, the pitching coach, said he just didn't throw the ball all that well. He says he started to throw the ball well during the course of this year, but he's still not up in the 92, 93 mile-an-hour range. Yeomans has got that overpowering fastball when he's right. He adds a slider with it, throws a straight change. Floyd's 6'1", 190 pounds, out of Tampa, Florida, still lives there. Last year for the Expos, 13-12 with a 3.53 ERA. Boy, we're here one day, you got all the signs up already.
Well, when the Cubs are 0-4, you know, I mean, almost anybody could get a sign. It's been a bad streak. But I think that's all over. I think this will be the last sign you'll ever see from me here. I'm pretty sure of it, unless my mom brings one, but she's not here yet.
And leading off the ball game, Chico Walker, hitting 174, off to a slow start. A pretty good bunter, and with that in mind, Tim Wallach very close at third, as is Andres Galarraga at first. Swing and a miss on a fastball.
I don't know Chico Walker. Tell me about him, Steve.
Pretty good player. Took a long time to get to the major leagues. Started with Boston, and he's trying to find a home in the outfield for the Cubs. Manager Gene Michael, very happy with his progress, but he'd like to see him get on at the top of the order. The Cubs have pretty good speed in Walker, Sandberg, and Dawson. Fastball misses down. What do you think of this Yeomans fellow?
Well, he's got a. I like the number 17. I think it's a good number. I think that's really about all he's got going for him. There's his stats. I mean, look at that. He's got nothing to be proud of. He should be ashamed of himself. He throws it pretty hard, though.
Fly to left field. Casey Candell coming over.
Thought he might hit that wall.
Tragedy averted by the padding down there.
You try to tell him early enough that they'll break just in time.
Well, this guy's a second baseman. One of the reasons why he's going to have some problems with that wall, and they moved him into the outfield. And he's done a pretty good job. He started a game in center field for Buck Rogers. You don't find many guys who are used to second base going into the outfield. He had never played it on a major league level. So this is quite an adjustment for him. 1-2 count on Chico Walker leading off the ball game for the Cubs.
That was close.
Count evens at 2-2. Walker hitting .421 lifetime against the Expos. Fouled off to the left.
It's a souvenir for some lucky fan.
Beautiful day here today.
I'll never forget the first ball I got. Two enormous people were fighting over it, and it rolled out between their legs, and I got it and ran for my life.
Hard hit to the right side. Galarraga will take it himself. And easily, Walker's out number one. We'll ring up Ryan .271 lifetime against the Expos. Home run, 3 RBIs, and a .241 batting average early in the season. Rhino not hitting the ball like he can.
I saw Rhino in the whirlpool before the game, and, well, he had a bruise on his ankle. We talked about it.
But he says he's ready to go, right?
He says he's ready to go, yeah. He had a bruise on his ankle.
Well, you spent some time in the locker room before the game. What do you think of the Cubbies in their lair?
Well, it reminds me a little bit of a Ramada hotel.
Pretty nice accommodations down there.
It's pretty good. It's red, white, and blue. It'll get you after a while, kind of a bicentennial feeling down there. The Yash Kawana clubhouse. He's a nice guy.
Been here, comes with a franchise, as a matter of fact.
He's been here longer. He got here about an hour after the vines were planted. Ding.
Well hit to right field. Mitch Webster has plenty of room, and he makes the catch. This just in from the WGN Sports Department. Former Baltimore Orioles pitching star Jim Palmer is scheduled to undergo tests today after being hospitalized Thursday night for chest pains and breathing problems. Palmer was taken to North Charles Hospital by his daughter and was listed in fair condition. Palmer, who retired in May of 1984, contacted his doctor, the Orioles team physician, complaining of chest pains, and was advised to report to the hospital. So we send along best wishes, and hopefully Jim Palmer will be okay. Andre Dawson takes a fastball for a strike. His first look at his former mates, and it's always an emotional situation. You want to prove to the team that lets you go that you can still play some pretty good ball. Count evens at 1-1. What do you think about Dawson?
Well, I think he's a bargain, but I mean, 188. I mean, I think that's only 188 points higher than I would hit. So, but if he hits this ball out of the park, I think it's going to be a good deal.
Fastball misses inside. 2-1. Dawson with 2 home runs, 4 RBIs.
I think he probably misses that rich food up there in Montreal, and he's got to accustom himself to, the bratwurst and Polish sausage that we eat down here in Chicago.
3-1. Jeff Reed behind the plate with Mike Fitzgerald on the DL. Reed, who came over from Minnesota in the Jeff Reardon deal, getting a lot of action early. All 4 Andre Dawson's aboard. That'll bring up Keith Moreland, hitting .301 lifetime against the Expos, off to a slow start. .214, no home runs, 4 RBIs. But Moreland has made a great adjustment at third base. He's playing very well defensively. You've seen him in a few ball games. What do you think about him down there?
Yeah, he looks pretty good. There doesn't seem to be anything he can't do out there. He actually played almost everywhere. The only things he's got to do are like uniform adjustments. He could wear his pants a little higher, wear his sandies a little differently, more batting gloves, wrist guards, stuff like that. Maybe put some eye black underneath his eyes, an earring, something like that. Other than that, he seems to be pretty solid.
1-0 count on Moreland. Now, was one of your goals to be a major league player when you were growing up?
Yeah, that was probably my own. I'm a major league baseball playing priest. I want to be a priest who could hit all field.
Figured there was more bucks in it that way?
Well, I wasn't really thinking about the money at the time. I was just thinking about the kind of,
Pop straight up, and that's it for the Cubs in the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. Then we're through 1. There is no score.
Come become the beautiful flower that floats on the clear Kona Sea, where the sands of time run black and white, and the friendly Hawaiian spirit still lives, with the airline that's been Hawaii's friend for nearly 40 years, united, and come become the Hawaii that was and always has been, in the friendly skies.
True Value Hardware Store's best interior paint just got even better. That's because now all 3 True Test Easy Care finishes, flat semi-gloss and flat enamel, are spatter resistant. So now you can give your rooms a rich, lasting coat without making a big mess. And after all, you're supposed to be painting your walls, not yourself. You'll find spatter-resistant True Test Easy Care paint exclusively at most True Value hardware stores and home centers.
As mayor, I officially welcome Murph 76 Self-Serve Mart to our town. Before I ask for the official scissors.
You have the scissors. I got no scissors. You got scissors? You got scissors? You still scissors. Oh, you bet, Alderman Murray.
We've got a great selection. And I'm happy to announce that at 76 Marts, people can charge every item on their credit card.
And now the scissors, please. Murph, welcome to our town.
The Russians gone mad. Bob's been bad.
I am the Prince of Battles.
What a country.
Saturday night at 6 on Channel 9.
Once again, Eric Gregg is getting redressed. He's getting undressed, redressed. It's been a tough go for him early.
I wonder where he had
the uniforms just arrived. So Eric Gregg has got the jacket. And now he looks like a National League umpire.
Sure does. He looks like he could be an umpire in any league he chose.
A lot of youngsters in attendance today. Faith McBurney celebrating her 10th birthday with her family here at the game. And Mason from the University of Wisconsin in Oshkosh. Good crowd here this afternoon. Chris Jones is here celebrating his 14th birthday with his mom and his aunt. And Tim Wallach to lead off the top of the second inning. Wallach hitting .333. Hasn't hit a home run yet. Does have 7 RBIs, and he's been tough against the Cubs. Takes a fastball for a strike. You've seen him hit a few out of this ballpark.
Oh, he's a nightmare. He's one of the most horrible people I've ever met. And I don't even know him. He really hits the Cubs. It's terrible. You know, the guy I used to hate was that Bill Robinson that played for Pittsburgh. Oh, he was misery. I never saw anybody hit the Cubs so badly as that guy. Oh, and he's the batting coach now in the Mets, which is like, you know, it's like being the doorman in hell to be the batting coach for the Mets. Oh, boy. 2 horrible words in the same sentence. Bill Robinson, the 3 words, Bill Robinson and the Mets.
1-2 count on Tim Wallach. You don't like the Mets much.
I really despise the Mets. Actually, I've met a couple of the players in New York, and they're nice guys. It's just they're cursed being on that team.
Pops up to center field. Dave Martinez makes the catch.
I hate the Mets worse than I do communism, I think. They're worse than communism.
That'll bring up Jeff Reed.
I mean, communism, at least, you know, at least they're not the Mets.
At least they're not leading the division at this point of the year.
Yeah, the communists don't hit. They don't pitch either. But then again, the communists don't get in trouble off season either. They're in trouble all year round, I guess.
Breaking ball hits the outside corner. Reed at 6'2", 190 pounds. Born in Joliet. Now lives in Elizabethton, Tennessee.
He was born behind bars in Joliet, wasn't he, Steve?
2 miles from Joliet.
What a success story that is. Born within prison walls and now playing for the Montreal Expos.
Came over from the Minnesota Twins where he hit .236 last year. Pops it straight back.
Look out.
Bill Murray with the net. Comes up a little short. You've got to work on your hands. You didn't get the net out quickly
I was sabotaged by Betsy Riemenschneider. Excuse me, that net is private property. It's been loaned to me for today. Thank you.
Outfield straight away. 1-2 count. Jeff Reed steps out. Hit .310 at Toledo last year. Home run, 14 RBIs. Doesn't have a whole lot of power. He's a line drive hitter. Sutcliffe crowds him and the count moves to 2-2.
That's right, Rick. Teach him respect.
You didn't like the call.
Look, guy's got his own clothes now. What's his excuse?
Full count on Reed. Pops it straight up, and Keith Moreland calling for it. Back a few steps, and he makes the catch.
A little windy out there. What are the weather statistics, Steve?
The weather stats?
Yeah.
It'll be about 55 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
What little wind there is blowing toward the left field corner. Got a day that you might like to hit one out of here.
Yeah, I'd like to take one deep today, boy.
With your power, I would think that the left field alley would look mighty inviting.
Yep, that catwalk out there is just a hard feet away.
Vance Law steps up.
Now, what's the deal with Vance Law? Is he good or what? He's been around a while.
He has been around a while, made a lot of stops.
He's not unlike myself. I bounced around.
Yeah, but you didn't hit 225 last year.
Yeah, well...
And you didn't get one under the chin just then.
Well, I think Rick did the right thing. Law gave him a funny look, and Rick shouldn't have taken that. But he didn't. He just threw it right under his chin.
Well,
He gave him a funny look.
Likes to hit the ball to right center field.
Ooh. Nice pitch.
2-1 count. Tom Foley on deck. Foley getting a chance to start because Hubie Brooks is on the disabled list with a fractured wrist. Ironically, Foley said it was the same type of injury that he had last year. Took a pitch, broke the wrist, and he was lost for a couple of months. Sweeping, breaking ball, and the count goes to 3-1. Vance Law from Boise, Idaho, now lives in Provo.
He just got too big for Boise.
Had to move.
Mm-hmm. Was too darn big for that town.
Good slider. You're watching exciting Chicago Cubs baseball over WGN-TV Channel 9 Chicago, America's #1 sports station. Steve Stone and Bill Murray bringing you this one.
With the help of Major League Baseball, of course. We're nice enough to help out and put the game on today.
Swing it a
Thank
bit.
you, Rick. Thank you. Thank you, Vance Law. Thank you.
3 up and 3 down. The Cubs are out, and there is no score after 1.5.
The game Monopoly has come to life at McDonald's. San Diego has 95,000 winners. Chicago, 500,000. And Treasure Island, Florida, 1,500. Play Monopoly at McDonald's and you could win too. Pick up your Monopoly game piece at McDonald's today. You could be a Chicagoland winner just like Willie D. Green of Harvey, Illinois, or Stephen Lee Davis of Crown Point, Indiana. They won $120,000 each. So do not pass go. Go directly to McDonald's.
It was so simple. Really, a direct electrical charge here heats up the carbonized filament here, which in turn excites the gases trapped in here. And voila!
Well, it's very nice, Thomas. But I wanted a Bud Light.
If you want the great taste of Bud Light, ask for it.
Don't feel bad, Thomas. It's not a complete loss.
Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Now people are trying to tell you that sin is where it's at. Oh, but when it comes to my Sunday paper, I want one that's big and fat. All those skimpy little papers, they just don't satisfy. That's why the Sunday Tribune is the only Sunday paper to buy. The Chicago Tribune, can it get your Sunday's work?
I'm Tom Skilling. Is it possible we have the warmest air of the season on the way? It looks that way just in time for the holiday weekend. We'll have the full holiday forecast tonight on the 9 o'clock news.
Steve Stone and Bill Murray. Bill, you finally located the camera up there.
So far away. Hello? Yeah, he's barely awake out there. Shake the camera if you're awake. There, he's out.
Leon Durham to lead off the bottom of the second inning.
Oh, what a beautiful day.
Bull hitting an even 250 for the year. Looking out at Floyd Yeomans. Leon hitting 265 lifetime against the Expos. And Yeomans falls behind 2-0. Floyd doesn't appear to be throwing quite as hard as we've seen him in the past. But it's early in the season. Sometimes fastballers take a little time. Good fastball over the outside corner. 2-1. Yeoman's a teammate of Dwight Gooden in their sophomore year back in Tampa, Florida. Fastball misses up high. 3-1. Cubs trying to win game number 1 at home in Wrigley Field. They've been anything but the friendly confines.
Run,
right field.
Run, Bull. Show us how you can run.
And a base hit for Durham down the line and right. Mitch Webster couldn't get to it.
I thought he was going to go for 2. He'd been showing us his speed on these unassisted plays at first. All right, look at this. This is exciting. He got all of that, ladies and gentlemen. Back! Back! Hey, hey! There goes the no-hitter. There goes the no-hitter, Mr. Big Shot. All right. Well, that broke the tension here now, huh?
Now that we know it's not going to be a no-hitter. We've seen one early. Juan Nieves no-hit the Baltimore Orioles for the Milwaukee Brewers, and Jamie Moyer took a no-hitter into the 9th inning at Philadelphia for the Cubs. Mike Scott with a one-hitter the other night for the Houston Astros. We're going to match swings. Here's the swing of Leon Durham. Now look at this follow-through. Now look at this swing. He's got nothing on you, Bill. You reached out and you got that outside breaking ball.
Well, wherever I can help the ball club, Steve.
Well, the manager talked about platooning you. Does that make you happy?
No, I don't want to be platooned. I think I should be playing every day. But, you know, whatever I can do to help the ball club.
You haven't heard that quote much, have you?
Well, I'm just fortunate, you know, that I was looking for a fastball, and I got it. And I was just fortunate enough to get Goodwood on it. And fortunately, the wind was blowing out, and I was just lucky enough to get it up into the jet stream. And fortunately, just made it into the last throw of the pitch.
Pitching coach Larry Barnard out to talk with Floyd Yeomans. It's a quick
hit the road, Barnard, will ya? Hey, Meat, back in the dugout. You got something to say, yell it, will ya? He's delaying the game. That's I think that's annoying. I find that annoying.
If you were a major league owner, what changes would you make in the game?
I'd bar that Barnard guy from the game. He'd be the first to go. I think I'd put these broadcast booths out in the sun where you guys could work on your tan. You look a little pale, Steve.
It's been a tough game so far.
I saw you under the sun lamp before the game, and I thought, well, here's a guy who should be relaxing instead of working on his facial thing now. And I'm sad. I don't know. I guess I would have more. I think they'd do better to have the fields facing the sun. And more day games, better food at the ballpark, rapid transit that goes right to the door of the ballpark like they have here at Wrigley Field. And I don't know. If I'm not sure about the waterfall thing. I don't know.
1-2 count. That evens the count at 2-2. Jody Davis hitting .287 lifetime against Montreal. Hit the ball very hard yesterday. He said the first time up, the ball he drove to right center field was as hard as he can hit a baseball, but the wind blowing in kept it in the park. Throw to first, but Leon's back. Cubs have the only hit of the game. And Leon Durham aboard at first base with nobody out here in the bottom of the second.
Send him. Send him, Stick. Didn't Durham used to steal bases?
Stole a lot more bases early in his career than he's done lately. Cubs want to stay out of the double play. Jody Davis looking down at John Vukovic at third. So if you're the manager, Bill, you're going to send Leon Durham right here.
No, it's probably there's nobody out. There's no score. I don't know. Stick. Send him. Send him, Stick. You know, you can't help this. I think that Gene Michaels' hair goes with the Cub uniform as well as anybody's hair has in recent years, don't you, Steve? I mean, we've never really had a silver hair manager. I mean, I think back to Elvin Tappy and Jim Fry, and I mean, look at that. I mean, it's a good look. I mean, when he stands up there in that electric blue, it's a fantastic look. He looks like Ralph Lauren, actually, a tall Ralph Lauren.
A tall?
Well, a very tall.
Very tall Ralph Lauren.
But I mean, it's a good look for him. If he had just cowboy boots or something, he'd look absolutely fantastic in that jacket and that hat. It's a good look for him, and I think even if, God forbid, he should ever not manage here anymore, which he may not if he doesn't win this season, and Gene, we talked about this, they better win this year. But I would hope he would go to a team that had a blue uniform, like the Cubs.
Full count, 3-2 on Jody Davis, manager Bill Murray.
I hate to be controversial, Steve, but...
is deciding that Leon Durham should be going, the bull who stole 8 bases last year. Has not shown any desire to go so far, but
no,
we're looking
calm.
for it.
He's fooling them. There he goes!
They're going. Fouled off.
Oh, he had it. You know he had it, Steve. You know he had it.
And the bull has to go back.
Yep. Oh. What number does that girl wear? How many ball girls do they have? 2?
Just one.
Just one. She runs both ways?
Yes.
I mean, she runs there and she runs both directions. Oh, thank you. Well, how do they? What happens if they hit down the left field line? She's got to trudge all the way over there to pick it up?
Well, it's a tough job. That's a very demanding job. Runner going.
Go!
Oh, well, hit to left field.
Get out!
Way back.
Yeah.
You can forget it. It's gone. Home run. Jody Davis, his second home run of the year. RBIs 3 and 4, and the Cubs are on top 2-0.
No power. No dignity. No.
How about that one?
Shaka Ono, bro. Shaka Ono, bro.
Everybody on their feet here in Wrigley Field.
Come on, let's hear it for him. What a success story. That sweet kid from Georgia hit one into the stand. Oh, that was sweet.
And another $200 from True Value to Cubs Care and Northwestern Memorial Hospital in the fight against cancer.
Yeah. Well, he's been hitting the ball good, hasn't he?
So whatever Larry Barnard told Floyd Yeomans, apparently it didn't work.
Yeah, I think you should repeat that, Steve. Hey, Barnard, you're an idiot! Nice call, pal! Lot of class, pal, lot of class. That was sweet.
There's Larry.
Yeah. Reading wheat, pal. Uh-oh. Get out of play.
On the left side.
I hate to say this, but oh, gee, it was too bad he didn't slip and fall. Not that we want anybody to be hurt here, but show that home run one more time.
Look at it again.
Give us the racket. Oh, check, please. And they're getting tan, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look. See, he's got a fashion statement with that black under the eyes. I mean, that's all Keith Moreland can do, really. And see, can you imagine Jody with an earring and that home run? How good that would feel.
We'll run it by Jody tomorrow.
It doesn't have to be pierced. It can be removed, just a regular. Boing. There's a hit.
Little looper to right center field. And Sean Dunstan's got a base hit.
Well, he needed that.
Okay, another decision if you're the manager. You got a chance to bunt Rick Sutcliffe, knowing he's a pretty good hitting pitcher, or let him swing away and take a chance maybe on Dunston running. What do you do?
Well, I was in the cage with Rick, and he felt so good about his swing that he let me take his extra cut, so I think he's ready to ding one. I think I wouldn't be surprised if Shawan Dunston stole first to put Rick in the RBI situation he really loves. He's got a clause for RBIs in his contract, doesn't he, Steve?
Yes, an RBI clause.
I'm sorry, I didn't know the exact terminology.
A big clause, yes. Rick takes a fastball for a strike. He squared as if to bunt. Galarrago, Wallach coming down each line.
Shawani, how I love you.
David Goodhart at the ball game today sent you up a cigar.
That's awfully nice. You don't see that kind of decency. That's nice. Thank you. The infield's playing in. The infield's playing in.
You need a cue card for that?
No, Sutcliffe. Here comes the third baseman charging. Rick swings! Oh, gee, he almost got all of that one.
0-2 count.
Say, Al Raven is here at the ballpark celebrating his birthday. I didn't know that. We just got a note that Al is here at the ball. Happy birthday, Al. That home run was for you. Uh-oh.
Pitch Watch out, nothing doing.
Yeah, that fooled everybody. Is that Bernard? Yeah, real bright. You know, these people from Canada think they can come down here and ruin our country and steal our national game. They got another think coming. It may be the world's longest undefended border, but there are certain things that just don't get across. Am I right, Steve Stone?
Yes, sir. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And there's a look at one of your good buddies, Larry Barnett.
Yeah, right.
Who I'm sure you'll be hearing from in the not-too-distant future.
You folks at home can just... There he goes!
Throw to second.
Thank you! Thank you!
Safe at second. And a fine prediction by Bill Murray, predicting that Sean Dunston would steal, and steal he does. Let's isolate on Dunston.
Hit the dirt! Hit your belly! Get down, Schwan!
Watch it again.
Pretty good toss. Boy, it was a good toss, wasn't it?
Full count on Rick Sutcliffe. Chico Walker in the on-deck circle.
Oh, great. Now he's going to walk the pitcher. No, he's afraid to pitch to Rick. He saw Rick in the cage, too.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Foul tipping the ball right into the glove of Reed.
He wanted that. I think that's the important thing.
If this booth is the same after Bill Murray leaves, Sunday, Bob Surratt is going to be joining us up here.
Bob is a well-behaved guy. He's all right. And I'm going to clean up after I leave. I promise.
Chico Walker grounded out to Galarraga to lead off the ball game.
All right, show me something, Chico. Ooh,
fastball misses up and away.
Keep it in the park, Floyd. You mind?
Dunston in scoring position, 2 outs.
Yeomans is rattled.
Cubs on top 2-0, courtesy of the home run by Jody Davis.
One of the great sights in baseball is to see a yellow 2 up there on the Cubs scoreboard, meaning we've scored and we're scoring again. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, there's more coming. Yes.
Another fastball misses up.
Oh, to go by on the L and see that. Oh, what a thing. What a thing of beauty.
Ryan Sandberg in the on-deck circle.
Steve, while I got you here, what do you think of this whole Iran Gate thing?
Which gig is that?
This whole confusion about the Contras and money and Iran smuggling, who knows, saying that the guns were paid for with drug money, illegally siphoned, making Republican commercials. What do you think about this?
I'm concerned about Honduras. That's where the cigar you're smoking comes from.
Well, you can't help but wonder that anything that's a threat to this game and this cigar that we're smoking. Attaboy! Attaboy, Floyd! Time for a visit from you-know-who. Come on out to the mound, you meathead. Do something about this, pal. Yeah, right. He bites his fingernails, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him. He's repulsive.
One of your old buddies from Second City days, Jim Belushi, is going to fill in for Harry on May 8th in San Diego. You got any messages for him?
Tell him to get out of San Diego as fast as he can. I hate those Padres, too. And you know why.
Still leaves some scars from 1984, huh?
God. Every time I go there, I litter. Come on, Rhino!
2 on, 2 out.
Get up! Come on, hit a rock.
High fly ball right field.
Watch out, there's a drain there.
And that's it for the Cubs, but not before they get 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors, and they leave 2. And after 2 full innings, the Cubs on top, 2-0.
Right now, there are over 1 million runaway kids trying to survive on the streets. Out of money, out of friends, out of luck. They often turn to crime, dope, or prostitution. Just imagine if one were your child. We'll talk to these kids and confront the adults who exploit them. These children are living a nightmare. We're going to try to help them. I hope you'll watch our live special.
Monday night at 7 on Channel 9.
Hi, I'm Mary Ellen, here to introduce you to some great items that are featured in this year's Cubs gift catalog, like this official Cubs warm-up jacket, the same style worn by the players, and this Cubs baseball lamp, perfect for your youngster's bedroom. Order now and also receive your free copy of the Cubs gift catalog. call toll-free 1-800-548-4000. Illinois residents call toll-free 1-800-621-5227. Visa and MasterCard accepted.
Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish. Turtle Wax.
Generation after generation, Turtle Wax has been the world's best-selling car wax. Nothing has been able to clean, shine, and protect your car better. Only Turtle Wax gives a super hard shell finish. And it's still the best-selling car wax in the world.
Turtle Wax.
Steve Stone along with Bill Murray back at beautiful Wrigley Field. And Bill, loosen up some. You're not having enough fun up here. You're a little tight in the early going. I know you're having some trouble letting it all go. So if you can, you know, just be yourself.
Well, I still want to know why they gave the home field advantage to the Padres 2 years ago. And I cornered that Peter Ueberroth in a plane in an airport once, and he gave me some sort of funny answer. I don't know. He's a basically decent guy, but he made a big mistake there, and I think he's willing to admit it, or he'll die.
Tom Foley to lead off the third. Looks at a fastball inside, so you're still bitter about the decision on the home field advantage in '84.
Well, bitter isn't the word for it, Steve. Not only do the Padres have the ugliest uniforms in the league, they didn't have the class to say, no, we don't deserve the home field advantage. We'll give it back to you in Chicago because, A, you have better-looking uniforms, and B, you have much more class than we have in the San Diego organization. I resent that.
There you have it, folks.
I mean, that lady can get out there in her short Padres outfit and say, yeah, okay, we deserve it, but I don't believe it. I think she should be back there slinging burgers and, you know, observe the real decency of the game.
3-1 count on Tom Foley. Foley hitting .222. Didn't think he'd start this year, but the injury to Hubie Brooks made him a full-time shortstop.
Oh!
Popped up on the right side. Sandberg calling for it, battling the sun, and he makes the catch. Luis Rivera, one of your all-time favorites, splitting some duties at shortstop with Tom Foley.
Well, I think it's only right. Luis is a decent guy. He's an individual. He spends a lot of time with the local groups in Montreal, United Way, so forth. And he goes out and he helps direct traffic when there are accidents. He's a good man. I don't think Foley should be there.
Herman Winningham hitting .182.
Oh, come on, Herman! You think this guy's taken any grief throughout his baseball career for having the name Herman Winningham and going with Herman? I mean, not changing it to Spike or Butch or something? Herman. Oops, that's right here.
Foul right back at you. It's in the upper deck. You had very good reflexes there. You grabbed the net, you got in position. You know, foot speed is so important in getting those foul balls.
Well, it's training. I do a lot of steps. Every day I take the steps.
1-1 count on Herman Winningham.
The legs that go first, isn't it, Steve?
That's exactly
well,
what
now, what about you? Were your legs gone, or was it the brain that went in your case? I mean, you won the Cy Young Award, and the next year you were in a hospital patient somewhere. What happened there?
Just wanted people to remember the good times, Bill. I figured I'd leave before I stayed too long.
So you chose not to go the suicide route, but to work here at WGN. I think that's great.
Harry needed some help, and there I was. High bounder, Sutcliffe's got it.
Attaboy.
And Winningham is retired easily.
Tell you what, can we call Harry during the break between innings?
I think Jack can get him on the phone.
Let's get him. We'll call Harry. We'll just see what's going on. He's on Palm Springs, right?
Yes, sir.
Anybody got the weather forecast for Palm Springs?
It's 90 and very warm.
90 and warm in Palm Springs.
And Harry is anxiously following your career as a broadcaster, I guarantee you.
I can imagine. Well, I'm sure he's probably watching. I just like to call him and get a few tips, see what's actually going on. Perhaps he can help. I mean, he probably told me to talk less, but, well, I'm all cranked up on hot dogs and Budweiser, and I don't really know what to do. Hey, I said Budweiser.
Nice job.
Nicely done, huh? You think I can't?
Good
Thank you,
segue
everybody.
into a commercial. Harry would be proud of you. What no count of Floyd Yeoman to the swing and a miss. How'd you like that cut?
Well, I like that cut, and I'm really pleased because I was drinking a rival brand of beer before, and frankly, I wasn't as happy as I am now that I'm drinking Budweiser.
You're looking
Right.
much happier.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure everybody here at WGN is a lot happier. Well, that rival brand wasn't too bad.
there's your can of beer.
There you go. There you go. Hey, anything I can do to help the people over it. All right.
Swing and a miss. Our friends from Nuts on Clark have sent you some gummy bears for your enjoyment during the ball games. I know you're a big gummy bear fan.
Yeah, they're good if someone's chasing you. You just drop them over your shoulder.
2-2.
Oh, come on, hit the road, pal!
3 up and 3 down for Rick Sutcliffe.
Come on!
And Bill Murray's favorite team is on top, 2-0, heading into the bottom of the third.
This goes for all that you do.
In the minors, you must have called it all 1,000 times, but you never lost sight of the dream.
I got a telegram for you, Tony.
Okay, thanks, Pop. Hi, babe. Hey, guess what? I got your call. Yeah? I'm in the majors.
You got a shot, you'll take it.
What's this, rookie umpire?
You got the heart to make it. You got the fire, that big league desire. You keep on reaching higher. You make America working. This bug for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood age for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beer.
Hi. Compliments from the gentleman over there.
Well, fans, it all comes down to this moment. This is where it all gets decided. Johnson steps in, checks the signs, makes a few adjustments. This is a classic confrontation. He's digging in. Here's the delivery. And there it goes. He's going back, way back. It is going. It is gone.
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
The ball game's over.
An Easter Sunday special presentation. Richard Burton stars in The Road. Sunday night at 6 on Channel 9.
I understand that Arnie Harris has tried to work some miracles, and he's gotten Harry in the truck.
Talk to Harry, see if he can hear you.
Harry, can you hear me?
How are you, Steve? I'm really enjoying the broadcast.
You doing okay, Harry?
Yeah. Hey, listen, Bill,
Yeah, Harry.
your size is so funny. I don't know how Steve can keep up with you.
Well, we called your house earlier, and your wife said that you'd gone out for ice. So I guess everything's going okay out there in Palm Springs, huh?
No, I'm always at home. All right,
Yeah.
go back to the ball game.
Well, we called a few hours earlier,
Thank
and
you
she
very
said
much.
Okay, see you later. Yeah, he's avoiding the subject. We called a lot earlier, folks at home, and his wife said he's taking the girls back to the train station. I said, what girls? Well, I said, aren't they doing a show tonight in Las Vegas? And yeah, well, he's having a pretty good time out there.
Andre Dawson, the bottom of the third inning. Swing and a miss.
Look at that. What a cut. Well, he sounds pretty good to me. He sounds like he should have been back at work weeks ago.
Harry sounds better every time we talk to him. He's ready to go. Dawson drew a base on balls in the first inning.
Well, that must be great to hear his voice on the air for all the folks at home.
Well, he watches every game, and I'm sure he reads every newspaper in print in Palm Springs.
Oh, I happen to know he's over in the library catching up on a lot of old books that he wanted to read in college.
Tough play at third base, but Tim Wallach comes up with it.
Nice.
We're going to ask you to evaluate the fielding style of Tim Wallach.
Okay. Come on, Andy, hit the thing! Oh. Oh. Well, he looks frightened. Look at him stick that glove way out away from his body. Now, kids at home, that is not the proper fielding technique. He's very fortunate to get that. You want to throw your face and upper body in front of that ball. Block that thing with your face and upper body, pick it up and throw it to first. Don't try that kind of stunt at home. This man is a professional and shouldn't be doing it that way.
Keith Moreland looking out at Floyd Yeomans.
Well, he wants to hit this guy.
He's in a hole 0-2. He popped up to shortstop to end the first inning.
I predict he will hit this guy. If not today, and if not this time, before this game is out.
We're going to have a chance to talk with Lou Boudreau and Jim Fry over on the radio side after this.
Oh, I don't want to leave here, Steve. I'm so happy. This is like home.
We'll see you in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
Okay.
And hopefully that cigar will still be with you. Boy, I've never been on this end of a cigar before. It's no bargain, Bill. I want to tell you that. Of course, Harry's been telling me that for years. Long drive to left field, way back.
Get going, get going.
Candell in the well, and he makes the catch against the vine.
No, he definitely is seeing this guy's fastball. He's definitely seeing this guy, and he wants him. He's really waiting for it's just a little too high. He doesn't get enough of it. If this guy's still around a couple more times, he's going to take this guy deep. Look at that.
That's right where Billy Williams made the catch to save the Kenny Holtzman no-hitter. And the Bull looking out. Our latest confirmation on our celebrity fill-in list, Pat Williams, president and general manager of the Orlando Magic, now bidding for an NBA franchise. Pat, a former general manager of the Bulls and Philadelphia 76ers. Bull pops it up. This one goes foul. Remember Sunday, Bob Surratt, if Bill Murray can get his booth cleaned up in time.
Yeah, we'll straighten up. Didn't Pat Williams have some sort of religious empire a few years back? Am I crazy? Or did he? I'm serious. Didn't he have some sort of, I don't know, it's like some sort of religious empire he was trying to create, like a kingdom in another country or something. I don't know. Well, he'll be here broadcasting the game, so he's probably off the medication, whatever it was.
1-2 count on the Bull. Leon singled and scored a run in the 2nd inning.
You know, Steve, that reminds me of the catch that Moose Moran made, saving the Don Cardwell no-hitter. Get out of here, I saw it. Arnie Harris in the booth insulting me over the earphone.
Arnie's saying that that you were fed that line. Arnie, I know differently. The man was not given the line. He came up with it all on his own.
I happen to know that that was Don Cardwell's first game as a Cub. He pitched a no-hitter, and it was downhill from there, wasn't it? Well, he stuck around a while, but, I mean, a no-hitter, you really can't go anywhere. But Moose Moore in a diving shoe-top catch. Holy cow. Diving catch. Not diving, but, you know, shoot-top. You know, you saw it. Oh.
Just misses outside.
Oh.
Think Eric looks a little better now that he has his regular uni on?
Huh? Well, there are a lot of people, I notice a lot of people are staring at him, and I think it's because he looks so darn good out there. That was a tough pitch to take by the Bull. It was either great confidence or frozen stiff. I can't tell. It was close.
3-2 count on Leon Durham.
Hit it, Bull. Ding!
Pops it up, foul. Now you were a little slower that time on the reaction.
Well, that's a lefty-righty percentage. I'm going to get to it a little slower from this side, Steve.
Harry spent a great deal of his career perfecting that net, and you've got a ways to go yet.
How many did he get?
He caught quite a few.
Really? Well, if it comes and I miss it, it'll be the end of my life. I'll just have to step in front of a car on 80s.
Your family also will be very, very disappointed in you.
They never showed up. Ooh, gee!
Foul tipped into the glove, and that's it for the Cubs. 3 up and 3 down. Bill Murray heading over to the radio side. Dwayne Statz will be joining me, and we're through 3 with the Cubs on top 2-0.
If you were to assemble a group of the world's most exotic sports cars, this car would not be among them. That's because Buick Skyhawk is a sporty car for the real world. Fuel injection, turbo, fun to drive, of course. But Skyhawk has the heart and soul of a Buick, so it can take life's everyday challenges swiftly in stride. Skyhawk from Buick, where better really matters.
Commitment, experience. It all comes together when you work with the best. Master Mechanic Tools, only from True Value Hardware Stores. At the Indianapolis Speedway, or in your own garage, they're backed by True Value Hardware Stores' commitment, experience, and exclusive customer satisfaction policy. Master Mechanic Tools, exclusively from True Value Hardware Stores and Home Center.
Terminix, I found this beam crumbling in the basement. I think it's termites. You can almost hear them inside the wood. They're going, my wife can explain it.
Yeah. See, like that. They're wrecking the place.
If the thought of termites is bugging you, call Terminix. We'll keep your entire home safe from any termite damage. And we guarantee it.
They're gone. No more.
Terminix. No more bugs, no more worries.
Is Project X just Top Gun with chimps? Find out this week on At the Movies.
Saturday night at 6:30 on Channel 9.
We're back at Wrigley Field, moving into the fourth inning with Steve Stone and our producer-director, Arnie Harris. This is Dwayne Stats. Nice to have you with us down the middle stages here. How you doing, Steve?
It was quite a 3 innings, I'll say that. I don't know how it looked on the radio side, but everything going well for the Cubs and certainly for Bill Murray.
Well, a 2-0 ball game here. Jody Davis, that 2-run home run. See, Bill has the net out.
He had a hard time getting started, a hard time loosening up, but after he got rolling, he did a pretty good job.
Well, here's the top of the batting order for the Expos, Casey Candell. Candell playing in left field this afternoon. Rick Sutcliffe's first pitch is a strike, says Eric Gregg.
Surprising conversion, Dwayne. Candell moving to the outfield, but he looked pretty good on that catch against the wall.
He stayed with it. In 1985, he played a lot of center field at Indianapolis. There's a ball low, and the count is 1-1. Had a couple brief shots in the outfield last year. We saw him mostly on the infield and primarily at second base. Out in front that time, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. Candell, Webster, and then Galarraga in the fourth inning for the Montreal Expos. Cubs leading 2-0 behind Rick Sutcliffe. Foul ball off his foot. Candell tries to run it off. Temperature at game time was 46 degrees here, but in the sun, it's very comfortable.
Judging by the fact that so many people in the bleachers have their shirts off, you know that it's certainly a nice place to be today. Very good crowd here.
Candell all set. Outfield way around the other way with Candell up there. And there's a foul ball.
Coming on the heels of that performance in Philadelphia by Rick Sutcliffe, I'm sure that both Herm Starrett and Gene Michaels very happy with Rick Sutcliffe today. Dwayne, he looks like he's control of everything. He looks very confident on the mound, and he's not afraid to throw the ball over the plate and let somebody hit it.
Now he has the pitch he wants. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a foul ball off Jody Davis.
Before
the count is still 1-2.
Before the game, Jody mentioned that Sutcliffe throwing the ball over the plate, letting people hit it, is helped by his ball club, which is a lot better defensively this year. And he tried to impress upon Rick to make sure that you don't walk these guys, the fact that the guys in the outfield now can go get them consistently. So let the guys behind you help you out.
Candell takes one a little wide, 2-2. Well, that's what was so frustrating about Rick's first outing of the year against the Cardinals when he gave up all those walks. He walked 7 and then came back last time out against the Phillies and walked only 2 in the 8 innings he worked. And he won that game handily, 9-1. There's a liner foul. Candell's bat went one way and the ball line foul up the other way.
Casey was just protecting the plate. He realized he had committed himself and he had to throw the bat and almost got a base hit out of it.
Candell, 26-year-old switch hitter. The Expos, when they started the year, they had Law, Brooks, Wallach, and Webster in their opening day lineup. The only 4 who were in last year's opening day lineup. And now the count is 3-2. Matter of fact, they have only 10 players who were on the opening day roster a year ago on the opening day roster this time around. And there's ball 4, so Candell draws the second walk issued by Rick Sutcliffe. And here's Mitch Webster.
Charlie Lee, the one-time star with the Montreal Expos, throwing the ball in Florida. That's good news for Buck Rogers. He's had so many injuries on this ball club. Tim Burke notably. He looked to Burke to be the stopper, but Burke has had some problems with his elbow. They hope that he'll be ready to come back in the not-too-distant future.
The pitch swung on, and a looping fly ball center field. Martinez did not get a great jump, but he gets there in plenty of time to make the catch. Webster's fly ball into center, and Martinez had to wait about a beat and a half before making a move on the ball.
This ball hit right at Dave Martinez, and then he's got the speed after the step back to come and get it. Pretty good-looking young outfielder.
Candel scampering back into first. He's there with one out for Andres Galarraga. Galarraga's been swinging the bat pretty well for the Expos in the early stages of this year.
We're going to get a pinch hitter for Galarraga.
They're going to pinch hit for him. I wonder if Galarraga might be having some problems. They're going to pinch hit Wallace Johnson for him. So Galarraga's out of there.
Johnson hitting .283 last year for the Expos.
So Andres Galarraga lifted. We'll see if we get word from the Montreal dugout on Galarraga. Runner at first is Candel. The pitch way high. That one got away from Sutcliffe. Ball one.
The only thing I can think of, Dwayne, was maybe running on the Leon Durham single to right field. Galarraga had to sprint out after that ball down the line. Maybe he aggravated a hamstring or some other type of leg injury, because there's no reason you'd take a man with that kind of power out of the ball game this early.
Candel with the lead. Sutcliffe tosses the ball to first.
You saw Jody flip his thumb. Anytime a catcher does that, he feels the man at first has too big a lead, and he wants the pitcher to go to first base to keep him close. We take a close look in at Jody Davis. This is a changeup.
Another move over there. Candel is back in. The Expos have stolen just 2 bases all year. Mitch Webster has both of those. They're 2 out of 3 in the running department. Another toss to first. Candel is back in.
Now take a look at it. You see Jody Davis pointing for Sutcliffe to go over. Candel stole 3 bases last year for the Expos, 16 in AAA.
Another move over there.
Galarraga left the game with a bruised right thumb.
Bruised right thumb, the word we're just getting on Galarraga. The count to Johnson, 1-0. And the pitch is upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Johnson, originally drafted by Montreal. Another move to first. Candel back in. As a matter of fact, Wallach and Johnson, the only Expos right now who were originally drafted by this Montreal ball club. One more time to first, and Galarraga's back in. And Johnson has not been with Montreal all the way through his career, which started in 1979. He was drafted in the June '79 draft. He spent a little time in the San Francisco organization and then back to Montreal. The pitch is a strike on the outside edge to run it to 2-1.
They played Johnson around toward left center field. He doesn't have a whole lot of power. Last year, combined between the big leagues and AAA, only hit 1 home run. He's a line drive hitter with some good speed.
The pitch, strike at the knees, and the count evens at 2-2. There's Wallace Johnson out of Gary, Indiana. At 258 with Indianapolis, 283 with the Expos last year. Sutcliffe paying a lot of attention to Casey Candel. Candel drew the walk, worked the count to 3-2, fouled off a number of pitches, and finally Sutcliffe walked him. There's a ground ball right side off the glove of Sandberg into right field. Candell will go to third. Dawson with a pickup. The Expos have runners on the corners. The walk and the single, the first hit for the Expos off Sutcliffe. And now with one gone, Montreal with men on the corners.
Sandberg moving to his left. Has a shot at this ball, but it takes a bad hop right at the end and bounds over his glove into right field. Candell with good speed around to third. So the Expos with a threat here in the fourth inning.
And you want to be careful here with Tim Wallach stepping in. You figure particularly now with Galarraga out of the lineup, Wallach is the one man who can hurt you with the long ball in this Expo lineup. And he pops him up. Sandberg initially making the call, but now Durham's going to come in and grab it. So Wallach is retired as Leon Durham takes care of the pop-up, and that is a very big out here in the fourth.
One of the reasons is because you've got a slow-running catcher up next and a chance perhaps for the ground ball. I'll tell you, with Wallach up, though, you got to figure that he's looking long ball. He's hit the Cubs so very well in this park. You know, he hit 18 home runs last year, Dwayne, and a lot of pressure falling on him with Hubie Brooks out of the order.
Well, you look at this Montreal ball club. Not only are they playing without the fellas they have lost for the time being. Reed takes a strike. Jeff Reed, the 24-year-old catcher. Reed out of Joliet. Of course, they no longer have Dawson, without Reardon, for the time being without Raines. But when Brooks goes on the disabled list, along with Tim Burke, one strike pitch, low. Stopped nicely by Jody Davis, and the count is 1-1. So things have certainly not gotten any better for the Expos from the personnel perspective.
And the loss of Bryn Smith certainly has hurt them.
They have Fitzgerald, the catcher, on the disabled list as well. 1 ball, 1 strike. The runners at first and third. Candell third. Johnson first. He's running. The pitch swung on and missed. No throw by Jody. So Johnson has himself a stolen base. And the count on Jeff Reed is 1-2.
All the Expos want to do is stay out of the force at second base, make it that much tougher to throw out Reed. It's the first stolen base of the year for Wallace Johnson. No play on him. Jody thought perhaps Casey Candell might be straying down the line, but that wasn't the case.
1-2 the count now on Reed. Reed coming over from Minnesota in the Jeff Reardon trade. Pitch is wide. It's 2-2. The Expos in an obvious rebuilding situation here. They have some young players. They're not quite sure how good they could be. Reed, for an example, they don't know if this guy is a 220 hitter or a 260 hitter. 2-2 is high, and that runs the count all the way out. And the only way to really find out is to let him play.
Especially with Fitzgerald on the disabled list and really nobody else able to take control. Last year they were very high on Wilfredo Tejada. But they figure Reed is more apt to do the job.
Full count on Reed. Runners at second and third. And the pitch skied back into right field. Andre Dawson going back on the track, and he makes the catch to retire the side. So Reed gave it a ride. The Expos are out in the fourth. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the fourth with the Cubs leading 2-0.
Tonight at 7, the story of Jacob and Joseph.
Father. No, not Benjamin. Punish him. Take him away.
The story of Jacob and Joseph, tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
Strength, pride, tradition. For centuries, the Clydesdale has been known as a special breed. Today, the Clydesdales symbolize Budweiser's dedication to quality, superior ingredients, exclusive beechwood aging, and a distinctively clean, crisp taste that only Budweiser can offer. Quality taste. Because this Bud's for you.
This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago National League Ball Club, which has the right of approval of the announcers and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Chicago National League Ball Club is prohibited. A reminder to all you Cub fans that this Saturday and Sunday, April 18th and 19th, is Cubs calendar weekend at Wrigley Field. Every fan attending the Cubs Expos games on either date will receive a full-color Cubs calendar, compliments of Budweiser and Bud Light. To purchase your tickets in advance, call Ticketmaster at 559-1212.
Bottom of the fourth inning, we'll find Jody Davis leading off for the Cubs. It's a 2-0 ball game. Jody Davis, David Martinez, and Sean Dunston. A note regarding the annual Cubs Care benefit to be held in the outfield here at Wrigley Field. The date this year is June 11th, and of course, proceeds benefit the cancer programs at Northwestern Memorial Hospital and the Cubs Care charities. Tickets again this year are $100 each and may be obtained by calling 908-7430. For more ticket information, 908-7430, and the date is June 11th. Here's Jody Davis, the difference in this ball game right now. He goes after the first pitch upstairs, and he fouls it away. Straight back, strike one. There's the home run so far this year at Wrigley for the Cubs, and with the distances, Jody Davis now just one away from the 100 mark for his career.
We have a further update on the Jim Palmer story. He's been released from the Baltimore hospital. The report is it's not a heart attack, and certainly that's good news, but apparently muscular skeletal pain.
1-1 the count. He's out in front, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes. The one thing the Expos feel and will make Yeomans a much better pitcher is the ability to change speeds, whether that's with the straight change or the breaking ball. And when and if that happens, he has a chance to be one of the premier pitchers in baseball. Count goes to 2-2. He got out in front of Jody using that change.
There's no doubt that he has a fastball that's good enough to win anywhere. 92, 93 miles an hour. He doesn't have very big hands for a big man, so it really stops him from throwing too many good curveballs. He's gone almost entirely to the slider and straight change. Last year was an up-and-down year. At times, he looked like a world beater. He was 13-12 for the Expos.
This pitch lined back into left center field. Candell cutting across, a diving attempt, can't get there. It's off the wall. Jody around first on his way to second, and he'll make it a stand-up double for Jody Davis. His first double of the year, and for the Cubs, hit number 4 of the afternoon off the right-hander Floyd Yeomans. Here it is on a 2-2 pitch.
Watch the effort of Casey Candell in left field. Jody Davis pulling the ball twice. This time Candell comes over and comes up a little short on the full-out dive. And Jody's hit the ball very well 2 times against Yeomans.
So Jody Davis arrives at second with a double. And that's going to bring up David Martinez. You know, last June, Yeomans threw a one-hitter against the Phillies, and he completely shelved the curveball during that performance at the request of Buck Rogers and Larry Bernhardt. The pitch is in there for a strike. So that goes right along with what you were saying, Steve, with his lack of ability to get a good grip on the breaking ball.
Well, he was hanging the curveball, getting him into a lot of problems. He figures the slider will help him.
There's a foul ball right back over the screen. Strike 2.
I think the slider is an easier pitch to control. It doesn't take quite as much finesse. It's thrown just like a fastball, and the ball moves at the last instant. You find more and more young pitchers knowing they need control to get to the major leagues. They go away from the curveball and to the slider. In fact, the big breaking curveball is something of a dying pitch in the major leagues. Now, with everybody throwing the slider and most everybody experimenting with the forkball, you see less and less of that big, slow-breaking curve.
2 strikes the count on David Martinez. He pops this one up. Foul ball. Reed back toward the screen, but it's going to be out of play. So the count is still 2 strikes. I think that big breaking curveball, particularly with as much running as we see in baseball today, if you have that big, wide breaking curveball and you're not the quickest to the plate, you could find yourself in big trouble with opposition runners all over the place.
Especially in the National League. It's a lot more aggressive. A lot of guys are running. You have a couple of runners over in the American League, but nothing like you see against St. Louis or Philadelphia or even the Chicago Cubs for that matter.
There's a bounding ball foul off the facing of the Cub dugout. Boy, it'd be a nice pick-me-up for Martinez if he could come through here with a base hit.
Well, you keep waiting for him to break out, and I know Gene Michael has tried all the encouragement that he can try. I know Billy Williams has been working very hard with Dave Martinez, talking to him about waiting back and pitch selection, but there comes a time when the youngster has to take matters into his own hand and start hitting the baseball.
And he's called out on strikes. Martinez caught looking. That's the first out in the Cub fourth, and the 3rd strikeout posted by Floyd Yeomans. Here's another look at the 0-2 pitch.
The slider over the outside corner, and you can see Dave Martinez just freezing on the pitch. He thought it was outside.
It's tough for a young hitter to try to be that fine on an 0-2 pitch and get away with it.
You know, the umpires are going to test you. They're going to give the close calls if you're not a veteran to the pitcher. And you've got to be swinging. You have to be aggressive.
Here's Sean Dunston. The pitch is a ball. Dunston looped a single into right center his first time. He's been struggling up there. He's had trouble waiting. He's been chasing a lot of bad pitches. And until he's a little more disciplined, he's not going to see too many good pitches to hit. And a little something extra on it, and the count is 1-1.
There's some good news for the Houston Astros out of Houston. Your old buddy Nolan Ryan has 19 strikeouts in his first 13 innings, coming back from elbow problems. They're limiting him to 115 pitches. Sometimes Nolan will go 5 innings with 115 pitches. You remember those days.
Well, you'd never know. He's 40 years old.
19 strikeouts in 13 innings. That's amazing.
Pop-up foul right side. That's headed for the seats. Sean chased another pitch up, and the count goes to 1-2.
Can you liken Floyd Yeomans in any way at the early stages of his career to Nolan Ryan at the early stages of his, both with the big fastball, both with inconsistent numbers?
Well, I think in a way there's some comparisons. There's no question they're both hard throwers. Nolan threw harder than Yeomans. And of course Nolan had that great breaking ball, has developed through the years one of the better curveballs in baseball. High foul down the right side, out of play. And as we were just discussing, that may be a difficult pitch for Yeomans. You find a lot of pitchers who come through this game with great arms, great velocity, but it takes a lot more than that to be successful.
Dunston will have to get over the tendency to swing at bad pitches. Let's see how Yeomans works him.
Ground ball for Wallach at third. He'll make the throw. So Dunston's out of there. Wallach to Johnson. 2 gone with Jody Davis at second, and here's Rick Sutcliffe. Sutcliffe struck out swinging in the second inning. Jody Davis opened with a double. He's still at second with 2 gone now. There's Johnson at first. Wallace Johnson. High foul, lifted back and out of play. Rick 1 out of 3 for the year. He's trying to add to the Cubs' lead here against Floyd Yeomans. Wave and a miss. 0-2.
You know, you look at this Expo club, and with Galarraga out, Hubie Brooks on the DL, Andre Dawson gone, Tim Raines, at least for the time being, gone. You wonder where they're going to generate any power, how many wins they can possibly chalk up in the early going.
Foul ball. Right back and out of play. Below the press level. So the count is still 2 strikes. Well, you wonder what Buck Rogers is thinking.
Why me?
And what am I going to do now? There's a line drive. Base hit to center. Here comes Jody around third. The throw by Winningham to the plate is not in time. An RBI single by Rick Sutcliffe. Vukovich had Jody Davis coming, and Winningham's throw did not get there in time.
The soft outfield helped the Cubs here. Winningham coming to get this ball. It's not hit hard, but Jody Davis on the move. Now take a look at Winningham. His throw is right on the money. It just bounces too many times. Winningham doesn't have the strongest arm, and as the ball trickles in, Jody is able to beat the throw by an eyelash.
Sutcliffe's first run batted in of the year.
Watch it again from behind Winningham. You can see the ball bounce. One hop, and Jody's in.
Now, Yeomans and Gregg are into it, and Gregg, I think, has ejected Floyd Yeomans from the ball game. Yeomans, I think, just realized he's been ejected and started to charge the mound. Now Buck Rogers started to charge the umpire coming down off the mound, and Buck Rogers is out there talking with Eric Gregg. Gregg motioned toward Yeomans on the mound, and I think he's kicked him out of the ball game. So Yeomans will leave, and the Expos need another pitcher. Buck Rogers may really have a problem fielding a team at this rate, between injuries and defections and ejections.
And now it's going to be Andy McGaffigan who's coming in. Of course, he's going to get as long as he wants to warm up. There's a surprised young man. I don't know what he did, Dwayne. He must have said the magic words that made Eric Gregg give him the boot in this one. But behind 3-0 with a depleted pitching staff, a lot of injuries to that staff, you're having a hard enough time fielding a ball club. Now your starting pitcher leaves the ball game in the bottom of the 4th inning. So the problems continue for Buck Rogers and his Montreal Expos. And Andy McGaffigan's going to take over.
Well, McGaffigan takes over for Floyd Yeomans. As Steve mentioned, he'll get as much time as he requires to get loose, and will take time for this.
Here are some top reasons why a Cub Cadet is built to last. It starts with a farm tractor-style transmission, powered directly by a twin cast-iron cylinder engine, supported by a pivoting cast-iron front axle. Add Cub Cadet's rugged durability, and you've got a garden tractor with raw power. In fact, the only thing as tough as a Cub Cadet is another Cub Cadet. Cub Cadet. It's one tough tractor.
Tonight at 7, the story of Jacob and Joseph.
Father. No, not Benjamin. Punish him. Take him away.
The story of Jacob and Joseph, tonight at 7 on Channel 9.
We're in the Cub 4th with the Cubs on top 3-0. Floyd Yeomans has been ejected from the ball game, and right-hander Andy McGaffigan loosens on the mound in relief.
Last year he had a banner year for the Expos. McGaffigan at 6'3", 195 pounds. He's out of West Palm Beach, Florida, now lives in Lakeland, Florida. Last year for Montreal, Andy was 10-5 with a fine .265 ERA. He appeared in 48 games for the Expos. He started 14 of those. Totaled 142 and 2/3 innings and only gave up 114 hits. Anytime you have that kind of hits per innings pitch ratio, you know you've got pretty good stuff. McGaffigan throws hard. He's got a good fastball and a hard slider to go with it. This year, Andy's been in 2 ball games with a 3.38 ERA. He's been a reliever both times, pitching 2 2/3 innings, giving up 4 hits and 1 run. He's walked 2. He's struck out 4. And there you take a look at Andy McGaffigan. So Rick Sutcliffe drove Floyd Yeomans from the mound in more ways than one.
And Eric Gregg delivered the knockout punch when he ejected him. That's the second member of the opposition ejected against the Cubs this year. Mike Easler, you'll recall, was kicked out by Jerry Crawford over in Philadelphia the other day. And now Eric Gregg gets Floyd Yeomans here in this one.
And that brings up a good point about demeanor on the mound or at home plate. Floyd Yeomans is a youngster, and if it gets around that he's got a temper like that, it doesn't take long before it gets around to all the umpiring crews. Also with Mike Easler just coming back into the league after some time with the New York Yankees, he showed twice that he's going to get pretty excited on some bad calls. So it happened with one umpiring crew, but again, they have friends, they make calls, and pretty soon you find out that that plate gets a little bit bigger. Instead of the 17 inches, maybe it's now 21 inches, 2 inches on each side. And the umpires will test a guy, and if they realize that he's going to fly off the handle, it's going to be a tough go for him. And I'm sure Yeoman's very disappointed with his performance today as far as giving up some pretty hard hit balls, but you can't show that kind of displeasure on the mound. Number one, you're obviously out of the ball game today, but it might have even further ramifications down the road for the youngster.
Well, McGaffigan says he's ready to go to work, and the Cubs will have the top of the batting order. Chico Walker up there to face him, with Rick Sutcliffe at first, a run home and 2 gone. Jody Davis opened the inning with a double into left center field, and after Martinez and Dunston had been retired, Rick Sutcliffe came up with a 2-strike single to chase home the run. So the Cubs are on top 3-0, and here's Chico Walker. Well, the Expos are really depleted. With Burke on the disabled list, they're hoping that Randy St. Clair and Jeff Parrott can close a few ball games for them. McGaffigan's in here as the middleman. Walker, nothing out of 1. He drew a base on balls in the second inning. And he takes a strike.
Bob McClure is the left-handed counterpart to the 2 right-handers down there, and it's bullpen by committee for Buck Rogers. He's got to find somebody to shut the door.
There goes Sutcliffe. The pitch is low, and the throw is not in time. Sutcliffe surprising the Expos, and everyone else winds up at second with a steal.
They've got to bronze the bag. I don't think you're going to see Rick Sutcliffe running too often, but Andy McGaffigan completely forgets about him, and this is a surprise party for everyone. Rick Sutcliffe in at second base with a stolen base. That might be the first, and I don't know if the Cubs wouldn't be too unhappy if it's the last for Rick Sutcliffe.
Boy, you're a little nervous when you see that big right-hander trying to steal a base and diving in head first. Now Walker takes one on the outside edge, so the count is 1-2. The opposition against the Expos now 17 of 17 in the steal department, and that's not all the fault of the catcher Jeff Reed, because the pitchers have not helped him at all on this staff. A little close, and the count goes to 2-2.
It just shows you the heads-up base running Rick Sutcliffe, the fact that he really wants to win, and he'll do everything he can, not only knocking in a run, but stealing a base. But you go back to that day in Atlanta when he tore the hamstring, Dwayne, and you kind of hold your breath when you see the big guy running.
Boy, you're absolutely right about that. There's ball 3, and the count is full now to Chico Walker. Rick Sutcliffe with an RBI single and a steal of second in this inning. 3-2 the count on Chico Walker. Walker getting time, stepping out of the batter's box. Now McGaffigan's all set. Walker back in. And walkers out on strikes to retire the side. So out of all that, the Cubs settle for a run on 2 hits, and they leave a man through 4. The Cubs 3, Montreal nothing.
Are you paying too much or your rate too high? Leave it to the good hands, people. Does your insurance bill make you want to cry?
If you're not happy with your insurance bill, join the more than 6 million families who enjoy solid Allstate homeowners protection at sensible Allstate rates.
So take those blues and face some dough. Give us a call, cause our rates are low. Leave it to the good hands, people. You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
There's a Maui that still plays in little pools down by the sea, where breezes blow from heaven, and you can become the morning light that shines all day in paradise. So come become Maui with the airline that's been Hawaii's friend for nearly 40 years, United. And come become the Hawaii that was and always has been in the friendly skies.
When the work week makes you blue, here's all you have to do.
Pick up the Tribune to help you on your way. Pick up the Tribune for something special every day. Well, it's business, tempo, style, food guide, Friday, sports, unit papers just can't match it. So pick up Tribune for something special every day. Every day. Chicago Tribune every day.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is your Chicagoland and Northern Indiana Better Buick dealer.
3-0 Cubs as we go into the 5th inning.
And a look at beleaguered Buck Rogers, a man trying to figure out how to get enough healthy bodies on the field at one time.
Rogers in his 3rd year, starting his 3rd year, running the Montreal Expos. Oh, it's got to be a tough situation. Going in, he knew that he was going to be up against it. One of the things, not only just trying to accumulate enough talent, but trying to keep everybody in the proper frame of mind to compete and give 100% every day.
Tough thing to do. They battled Houston. They played them pretty tough. Then they had some problems, 2-5 coming into this one. And I can't see him scoring a whole lot of runs this year without all of that offensive punch they lost. You take away Brooks, you take away Dawson, you take away Raines. That's the heart of anybody's batting order. The only man who remains is Tim Wallach. And hopefully, for them, Andres Galarraga can provide some power.
Well, here's Law to lead it off for the Expos in the 5th inning. Vance Law, he takes the first pitch high, ball 1. Law struck out swinging his first time. One of 2 strikeouts recorded by Rick Sutcliffe so far in this one. Breaking ball misses. 2-0 the count. Bill Campbell throwing in the Montreal bullpen. There's a high foul down the right side, out of play. 2-1 the count. Law hit .225 last year with 5 home runs and 44 runs batted in. His major league career average, .250. This one a check swing foul ball to pull the count even at 2-2. Law hitting 6th in Buck Rogers' lineup. He spent a lot of time in the number 2 spot and then alternating between 6th and 7th last year in the Expo lineup. 30-year-old infielder. Sutcliffe's 2-2. Line drive to short. Scooped up 1 hop by Dunston, and the throw to first in time. A low liner on 1 hop, and Dunston handles it. Dunston to Durham, taking care of Law. That's going to bring up Tom Foley. Foley popped out to Sandberg his first time. He has some occasional pop in that left-handed bat. Foley divided time last year between the Phillies and the Expos. He was involved in the Dan Schatzeder trade. Pitch inside, ball one.
Got off to a slow start. He got stepped on before the spring training started. He was working out with the Miami-Dade South baseball team, got in a rundown, fell down. One of the guys spiked him.
This pitch rolled to second. Sandberg there, and the throw to first in time. Sutcliffe with an off-speed pitch, and Foley rolls to second. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th for Herman Winningham.
You have to look out for the bunt here. Winningham showed the Cubs last year that he was an adept bunter. He likes to bunt it down the first baseline, and the Expos need base runners. Moreland in very close to third.
August 22nd, 1980.
The pitch is low, ball one. Rick Sutcliffe working to Winningham. Misses down.
The first stolen base since August 22nd, 1972 by a Cub pitcher. Willie Hernandez, just a little less than 5 years ago, stole a base. So Sutcliffe in select company.
Winningham goes for this one and pops it on the infield. Dunston near the bag at second, makes the catch to retire the side. So an easy inning for Sutcliffe in the 5th. Home half of the frame coming up with the Cubs on top, 3-0.
This Bud's for all that you do.
Today a landscaper, tomorrow a college student.
Yep.
Finally took your advice, Mike.
You taught him.
Already you're smart.
All you knew. They say he's a lot like you. Yeah, you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
To a future architect. And to a brother who made it possible.
This Bud's for you.
From beyond your imagination comes the future of photography. More than a camera, it's Canon EOS. EOS, the ultimate autofocus SLR.
So fast and easy.
High-performance autofocus with any lens. EOS, great shots were never
so simple.
EOS, more than autofocus, more than ever. New from Canon.
Charlie, it's time to...
I know.
Taking time to mow doesn't take a lot of time with the Cub Cadet Rider.
Charlie!
I know.
Cub Cadet's extra wide cutting deck saves time with fewer passes.
Charlie, it's time!
Oh, no!
But when you really need to save time, Cub Cadet bags up to 6 bushels of grass.
Charlie, did you get the bag?
Yeah. Did I get the bag?
Cub Cadet, one tough rider. At the Cub Cadet dealer nearest you.
There's trouble ahead on the next One Big Family.
What are you going to do, arrest me?
I want you to go home and go to your room.
Saturday night at 5:30 on Channel 9.
In the Cub half of the 5th inning, Ryan Sandberg will lead off against Montreal right-hander Andy McGaffigan. 3-0. The Cubs are on top. They've out-hit the Expos 5-1. We have the same two clubs again tomorrow afternoon. The Expos in Saturday and Sunday. The Cubs wrap up the homestand.
Wayne, you're going to be happy to know that the roof is finally on in Montreal, so when we go up there, you don't have to bring that trench coat and all the other foul weather gear. At the expense of a total of $1 billion for the whole Olympic complex, it's finally completed.
I can't wait to see it.
Arnie, no more roof shots. It'll be enclosed.
Here's Sandberg. Rhino twice today has gone out to right field, 0 for 2. And the pitch from McGaffigan low, ball one. First time Sandberg has faced McGaffigan. Everything else against Yeomans, who was ejected after working 3 2/3 innings. Ground ball for the shortstop. Foley back up for the ball, and the throw to first in time. Tom Foley across to Johnson. 1 out. And that's going to bring up Andre Dawson.
I think he might be pressing against his former teammates the first time he takes a look at him.
A natural tendency, there's no question. It's always interesting to see how a former player and his former team respond to each other, particularly the pitcher, how they work him. Andre officially nothing out of one for the afternoon. He takes a strike.
Of course, in this case, he was not traded away. He actually chose to leave, turned down the offer. Negotiations finally broke down, and Andre Dawson donned the pinstripes.
McGaffigan misses with a fastball, and the count is 1-1. Andy McGaffigan. Well, there have been a lot of teams through the years like his ability. Ball hits the bat and deflects foul. So Dawson is behind McGaffigan, 1-2.
There's a good look at Andy. He's got a good pitcher's build. He's tall. He's lean. He's always had a great arm. His fastball, right around 90 miles an hour, hasn't really ever gotten over the top in the major leagues, however.
The 1-2, and Dawson rolls it to third. Wallach charges, scoops, and throws, and Dawson is out number 2. So Andre's nothing out of 2. 2 outs in the 5th for Keith Moreland. There's Moreland. So Dawson continues to struggle just a bit. He's 0 for 13 now since the home run he hit Monday night in Philadelphia. Moreland hit the ball to the wall in left field back in the 3rd inning. Candell stayed with it and made the catch on it. Big chop foul, strike 1. First time up, Moreland popped to short, so he's nothing out of 2. The line on Yeomans, 3 runs, 5 hits, in 3 2/3 innings. He struck out 3, walked 2, and gave up the home run to Jody Davis before he was ejected by Eric Gregg. There's a line drive, base hit by Wallach, and up the left field line. Over to make the pickup, Candell, and Moreland will hold it first with a base hit. The first allowed by Andy McGaffigan. So a line drive single. Moreland's aboard, and here's Leon Durham.
Just over the head of Tim Wallach. Moreland's hit the ball right on the button twice in a row. Candell gets to the ball quickly. And Casey's shown that he's pretty comfortable in left field. Now we'll isolate on Tim Wallach. Just barely over his head.
Here's Durham now. The bull is singled and has been called out on strikes. Moreland draws the throw at first and is back in. Boston with 5 runs in the top of the 2nd inning at Toronto, so the Red Sox lead 5-0 in that one. Cubs lead 3-0 in this one, bottom half of inning 5. Durham takes a strike on the outside corner. McGaffigan was originally drafted by the Cincinnati Reds, but did not sign with Cincinnati. Drafted again by the Yankees and signed with them in 78. There's a liner into left. Candell freezes in the spot and makes the catch to retire the Cubs in the 5th. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Through 5, Cubs 3, Expos nothing.
The game Monopoly has come to life at McDonald's. San Diego has 95,000 winners, Chicago 500,000, and Treasure Island, Florida 1,500. Play Monopoly at McDonald's and you could win too. Pick up your Monopoly game piece at McDonald's today. You could be a Chicagoland winner just like Willie D. Green of Harvey, Illinois, or Stephen Lee Davis of Crown Point, Indiana. They won $120,000 each, so do not pass go. Go directly to McDonald's.
Turtle Wax gives a hard shell finish. Turtle Wax.
Generation after generation, Turtle Wax has been the world's best-selling car wax. Nothing has been able to clean, shine, and protect your car better. Only Turtle Wax gives a super hard shell finish. And it's still the best-selling car wax in the world.
Turtle Wax.
Your better Buick dealers just got even better. $1,450 better. Depending on the options you choose, you can save up to $1,450 on specially selected Buick models. $1,450 on Buick's bestseller Century. $1,450 on the lean and agile Somerset. $1,400 on the full-size LeSabre for another Buick model. Or for a limited time, you can get GMAC financing as low as 3.9%. Like the finance contract is limited. So see your better Buick dealer. Do it today.
3-0 Cubs on top as we move into the 6th. The pitcher's spot is due to lead off, and the bullpen is busy. So Buck Rogers will go to his bench here to open the 6th. Reed Nichols will pinch hit. Nichols will be followed by Candell, and then Webster against Rick Sutcliffe. I want to pass along birthday wishes. 39th happy birthday to Ruth Zarnecki, great Cub fan.
Reed Nichols, originally brought to the big leagues by the Boston Red Sox, was their 12th pick in the June 1976 free agent draft.
Right-handed batter, and Sutcliffe starts him with a strike. Started him with a breaking pitch, strike one.
Nichols was traded from the Red Sox to the White Sox in '85, spent all of last year with the White Sox, hit .228.
Another breaking ball, and Sutcliffe throws that one over for a called strike. So he's quickly in front of Nichols, 0-2. There's Bill Campbell, the veteran right-hander in the bullpen for Montreal. All three of the Cub runs charged to the Montreal starter, Floyd Yeomans. Now Nichols hitting for McGaffigan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McGaffigan works an inning and a third, gives up a hit, and picks up a strikeout. Strike 3 call. So Nichols caught looking. He's the first out in the 6th, and for Rick Sutcliffe, the 3rd strikeout. 2 of the 3 strikeouts have been called 3rd strikes, and here's another look.
Sutcliffe drops from the side and drops the curveball over the outside corner.
He threw some very good breaking pitches to Nichols.
I think you'd call Bill Campbell, the next Expo pitcher, a much-traveled veteran. 5 different teams the last 5 years, including the Cubs.
Here's Candell. Pitched low to him, ball 1. Candell walked in the 4th after grounding out unassisted to Leon Durham in the 1st inning. Ball 2, 2-0. Casey Candell, 26-year-old switch hitter. He is in left field in the opening game of this series. This pitch is upstairs, 3-0. He played center field yesterday for Montreal.
He started 2 ball games for the Expos. They've won them both, and the Cubs trying to put that streak to an end today.
This one is a called strike. It's 3-1. Cubs with 2 runs in the 2nd, another run in the 4th. They're on top 3-0. And there is ball 4, the 3rd walk issued by Sutcliffe. So Rick has struck out 3 and walked 3. A 1-out pass here in the 6th brings up Mitch Webster. Webster's in right field. He played center field a lot last year for the Expos and started this spring in center field, and near the end of spring camp was moved to right field. He had a slight hamstring problem, and at the time he thought Buck Rogers made the move just to save him a little territory and a little wear and tear. Webster fouls this one, bouncing it off to the right, strike 1, but Rogers had an idea of leaving Webster in right field on a permanent basis. He didn't want to move him around any more than he had to, and so it appears that Webster will be the right fielder for the Montreal Expos. There's a little loop fly ball, left center. Walker can't get there. Makes the pickup on the short hop. Candell stops at second, and now on the walk and the single, the Expos have 2 men on with only 1 out. And Wallace Johnson due up. Hit number 2 off Sutcliffe.
Now Jody Davis out to the mound along with Keith Moreland. They want to make sure that Rick Sutcliffe is feeling strong and healthy.
Toronto came back with 2 runs in the bottom of the second. Jesse Barfield hit a solo home run to account for one of the Blue Jay runs, and at the end of 2, the Red Sox lead the Blue Jays in Toronto 5-2. Here we're in the 6th. Wallace Johnson has the other hit off Sutcliffe, a 4th inning single. He came on to hit for Colorado, who's out now with a bruised thumb. The Expos had 2 men on in that 4th inning. They have 2 on in the 6th. Start of a move to second, nobody covering. The only other inning in which the Expos have even had a base runner was the first when Webster walked, but he was erased on the double play that ended that inning. So the Expos have stranded 2 men. They have 2 men on now. There's a strike. Sutcliffe here in the 6th. Johnson becomes the potential tying run. A delivery down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wallace Johnson. He's 30 years old.
Sutcliffe was in a jam in the 4th inning. Runners at first and third, 1 out, but he got out of it. And he'll have to make some good pitches to Johnson.
Johnson lifts this one back into center field. David Martinez has room, flips down the glasses to make the catch. The tag by Candell. He'll move to third. With 2 gone, the Expos will have men on the corners. Martinez throw back to Sandberg. So Webster remains at first. Candell goes to third on the fly ball to center by Johnson. And here's Tim Wallach. Wallach was up in that 4th inning when Sutcliffe found himself in a little trouble, and here he is again in the 6th. Wallach popped out on the first pitch in the 4th. He's also flied out to center. So let's hope that Sutcliffe can get by him one more time. Strong right-handed hitting third baseman. And Sutcliffe gets the jump on him. Strike 1.
Wallach is an unusual right-hand hitter because he's a low ball hitter. His natural stroke is an uppercut. And if you get the ball middle of the plate in, down, he can really hurt you. Sutcliffe probably try to stay away from Wallach. He's the one man who can provide the power.
Here's the pitch, low and away. Nice stop by Jody Davis to keep the ball in front of him. And the count is 1-1. Another look at the stop by Jody.
Jody's saving Rick Sutcliffe and the Cubs a run. It's a breaking ball away. And Jody shifts well. He's able to keep the ball in front of him. That was a good stop.
Candell and Webster, the base runners, pretty fair speed. And the pitch is inside. It's 2-1.
I hate to see Rick Sutcliffe going in there in this situation because that's really the power position for Tim Wallach, and there's just a fine line between making a real good pitch and a bad pitch in that close.
Well, we've seen Wallach really golf some balls.
Well, if he gets it down and in, he can hit it as far as anybody. And Rick just missed inside that time. Let's see where Jody sets up.
Nothing doing on that move. Sutcliffe with another move to first. 2 outs. Nichols called out on strikes. Candell walked. Webster single. Johnson with a fly ball to center, sending Candell to third. Once more moved to first. Webster back in. 2 gone, and the count on Tim Wallach is 2-1. Swing and a miss, and the bat goes out to Dunston at shortstop. So the count goes to 2-2 as Dunston retrieves Wallach's bat.
I think it's safe to say that he was fooled on that one. Good breaking ball low and away. And Wallach losing the grip. Rick Sutcliffe with good reflexes got out of the way of that one.
That's an example of what the Cubs are hopeful Sutcliffe can do this year. Down on the count, 2-1. Throw the breaking ball, the off-speed stuff. Not have to give in to the hitters. Now he's 2-2 with Wallach. Foul ball into the top of the screen. I think after the first outing of the year, when Sutcliffe walked 7, it really came home to him that he may as well try to throw the breaking ball for a strike. If he's missing with a fastball, he couldn't walk many more than 7 hitters. And he's been able to throw that breaking ball for strikes. He misses inside, and now the count is full, 3-2.
I got to figure Rick Sutcliffe's going to go back to the curveball. He'd like to keep it low and away.
Jeff Reed, the catcher's on deck, a left-handed hitter. The count is 3-2. Webster will break from first. There he goes. The pitch is low, ball 4. So Wallach draws the base on balls, and that loads him up with 2 outs for the Montreal catcher, Jeff Reed. Reed is nothing out of 2 in the 4th inning. He didn't seem to hit the ball all that well, but he got a lot of carry on it into right field. And Dawson had to go back onto the track to make the catch.
He showed he's got a pretty lively bat, because I didn't think he took a good cut at that ball, and yet he almost drove it out of the ballpark, so he must be a strong young man.
He almost hit the ball one-handed. They're loaded with 2 gone. And there's a strike on the inner part of the plate. There's Jeff Reed. First time in the National League for Reed. Went to West High School in Joliet. Big chop for Sandberg at second. Cubs are out of the inning. Sandberg to Durham, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit with 3 left. Bottom of the 6th inning coming up. Cubs lead 3-0.
An Easter Sunday special presentation.
Never driven nails into a man's flesh.
Richard Burton stars in The Robe.
They say he's the Son of God.
The Roman Tribune who won the Holy Garment of Christ, which almost drove him mad.
No, he was crucified and buried, and that was the end of him.
That was the beginning.
Gene Simmons and Victor Mature star with Richard Burton in The Robe. Easter Sunday at 6 on Channel 9.
Bud Thunder. It's revved up and coming at you.
United Airlines has more nonstops with more low fares to more sunspots than anyone. Mexico, the Bahamas, Florida. So if you want the sun, we've got it.
We are your sunshine. Shine on friendly skies.
I'm Tom Skilling. Is it possible we have the warmest air of the season on the way? It looks that way just in time for the holiday weekend. We'll have the full holiday forecast tonight on the 9 o'clock news.
Well, the Cubs get out of the jam in the top of the 6th inning. We move into the home half of the 6th. 3-0 Cubs on top, and Bill Campbell becomes the 3rd Montreal pitcher.
Bill Campbell had a tough outing in his only time out this year. He faced 3 hitters, gave up 3 hits, including a home run. All the runs unearned. Not a real impressive start. And Bill Campbell pitched 1982 and 1983 in this park with the Cubs. He was 3-6 for the Cubs in '82. He was 6-8 in 1983 before being traded to Philadelphia. Spent the '84 season with the Phillies, the '85 season with the Cardinals, and in 1986 he went to the Detroit Tigers. Last year he was 3-6 with a 3.88 ERA. A far cry from 1977 when he saved 31 ball games and was 13-9 for the Boston Red Sox and fashioning a fine 2.96 ERA.
Well, here's Jody Davis. He's had a perfect day with a home run and a double, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and the first pitch is low and away for a ball. Jody takes a strike there, and the count is 1-1.
Campbell gives you everything. He gives you the knees, the elbows. He comes at you in sections, it seems, trying every way he knows to make it difficult to pick up the ball. His foot will hit before his arm comes through.
This pitch dips low. 2-1. Well, you're right. He'll do more than just turn the ball over on you. He'll try a little bit of everything. Meanwhile, Jody Davis is up there to lead off the Cubs 6th with the count of 2-1. And a chopper foul handled by John Vukovich to even the count, 2-2.
It's interesting, Dwayne, how a man becomes a short reliever. In his second year at Charlotte in AA in the Minnesota Twins chain, started 29 games. He completed 14. I mean, almost 50% of his games. And because of that, he got to become a short reliever.
He's 2-2 with Jody Davis. And a line drive out of the reach of Foley and into left field, a base hit. Jody Davis 3 for 3 this afternoon. He has a home run, a double, and a single. Has opened the Cubs 6th with a base hit. Campbell hung one out there, and Jody lined it through the left side of the infield. Here's David Martinez. Let's get this guy going. Martinez, nothing out of 2.
Jody's raised his batting average to .350. Started the day at .235. Early in the year, you can do those kind of things.
Martinez, 2 out of 20 for the year. And he pops this one up. Foul ball. Third base side. Tim Wallach under it. And he makes the catch for the out. So Martinez fouls out. Well, this morning in batting practice, Martinez was hitting the ball on a line and pulling it through the right side of the infield hard. He gets into the game, and he's popped it up a couple times, and that's what the Cubs hope that he can get away from.
And now we're at the point where, with each passing at bat, he's starting to put more and more pressure on himself. He realizes he's not hitting the ball. He realizes that his job is on the line and that Bobby Dernier is off to a good start, and he's the right-handed hitting counterpart of that platoon system. It's just going to get tougher and tougher, Dwayne. He's just got to put it out of his mind, but sometimes that's so very difficult.
Meanwhile, Candell playing soccer with that big beach ball down there in the left field corner. Here's Sean Dunston. Sean singled in the 2nd inning. A looper into right center, grounded out 3rd to 1st in the 4th. Here's another guy the Cubs would like to get started. Shortens up and takes the pitch for a strike. Sean is one of those naturally aggressive hitters. This pitch, ground ball, fair by the bag at 3rd and down into the bullpen. Jody Davis digging for 3rd. He's going to make it. It's a double for Sean Dunston. And the Cubs have runners at 2nd and 3rd with only 1 out. The 2nd double of the year for Dunston. And his 2nd hit this afternoon. He got it fair by the bag at 3rd.
Campbell turns the ball over, and so does Dunston. Dunston turns it over down the line by Wallach, who never had a chance for that. You see Dick Stello pointing fair all the way. Jody Davis steaming around the bag. Jody's had himself quite a day.
Even if there had been a play at third, I'm not so sure anyone wanted to get in front of Jody Davis as he came barreling around second on his way to third.
Now Sutcliffe has another opportunity to help himself.
Rick singled home a run in the fourth after striking out his first time up. And he takes the strike. Rick for the year now 2 out of 4 with a run batted in.
Infield in at all 4 positions. This makes it a whole lot easier to hit. And a lot of room in right center field. And Sutcliffe can pull this guy. Campbell doesn't throw all that hard, so they're giving him lots of room if Rick can get the head of the bat out.
Rick taps it foul up the first base side. He's down on the count. 0-2. Action in the Montreal bullpen. They have the right-hander up. That's Jeff Parrott. Campbell, their third pitcher of the ball game here. We're in the bottom of the 6th with Steve Stone and our producer director Artie Harris. This is Dwayne Stats with the Cubs leading 3-0. A chance to pick up another run or two. Sutcliffe takes one away, up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll get a look at the 2 youngsters in the Cub rotation. The rest of this series, Greg Maddux and Jamie Moyer are scheduled to work tomorrow and Sunday. Sutcliffe started to go, but checked. And the count squares at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Davis opened with a single. 1 out later, double to third by Dunston. And a fly ball into left field. Candell going back, and it's going to be off the bottom of the wall. Here comes Davis in to score. Dunston on his way to the plate. It's a double for Rick Sutcliffe, who drives home his second and third runs of the ball game, and that gives the Cubs a 5-0 lead. Rick Sutcliffe with a double off the bottom of the wall in left.
His second double of the year, and Sutcliffe gets all of this one, driving the ball into the wind over the head of Casey Candell, who was playing him shallow. And Sean Dunston flying around the bases. Now Candell misses the cutoff man. They might have had a shot at Dunston, but not after this relay throw. Nothing they can do but watch Sean score the 5th Cub run.
Still only 1 out in the inning. Sutcliffe at second base, and here's the top of the order. Chico Walker, ground ball back to the mound, and Campbell's throw to Johnson is in time. So Walker jumped on the first pitch and goes out pitcher first. 2 outs with Sutcliffe still at second. And here's Ryan Sandberg. Sandberg, 0 out of 3. Last time up, he grounded to short. He's hit 2 fly balls into right field. Well, the Cubs with 2 more runs so far in the 6th inning. The pitch, a little low. Cubs scored 2 runs in the 2nd inning, another run in the 4th. They have 2 in the 6th. They pounded out 9 hits. Swing and a miss by Rhino. 1-1. Floyd Yeoman started for Montreal. He was ejected after 3 2/3, allowing 3 of the 5 Cub runs. Now the pitch too low. 2 balls and a strike.
Pretty good production out of the bottom half of the order today. Only man in the top half to get a base hit has been Keith Moreland, and that man right there has certainly helped himself with 3 big RBIs.
Bill Campbell delivers. Ground ball. Wallach up with it on a good play, and the throw to first. A little wide, and Johnson can't hang on. Sutcliffe goes to third, and Sandberg is still alive. Wallach, a nice pickup on that ground ball, and his throw to Johnson a little wide to the right field side of the bag.
This is a ball that Johnson probably should have handled, but he doesn't. Good enough certainly to catch, and that should go as an error on Johnson. And that's exactly how it's going to be scored.
It's the 11th error of the year charged to the Expos in this, their 8th game. Here's Andre Dawson. He lines one into left center field. That's in there for a base hit. Sutcliffe scores. Sandberg will go to third. The throw's to second, and Dawson is in. Now Sandberg tries to score, and he's safe. Sandberg scores. So the Cubs scored 2 more out of all that.
Take a look at the hustling Cubs. Andre Dawson drills the ball into left center field. Now take a look at Dawson, because this sets up the run by Sandberg. Sutcliffe scores the play at second base, and when Rhino sees the throw come into second, he doesn't hesitate. Watch it again. Throw home, and Rhino with a good slide by Reed. And the Cubs are pouring it on the Expos.
Dawson winds up at second. The Cubs have made it a 4-run inning. It's a 7-0 ball game, and Moreland takes it low and away for a ball. Dawson got a little tangled up with Foley out there and was stepped on, but he's all right. Here's the pitch, and it's too low. 2-0. 4 runs home for the Cubs in the 6th inning. The Cubs now in double figures in the hit department. Ground ball back at third. Wallach up with this one, and the throw is in time to retire the side. So the Cubs are finished in the 6th, but not before they score 4. Bill Murray will be rejoining us now, and at the end of 6, the Cubs are on top 7-0.
Complete, accurate, original Ameritech Pages Plus. Still the Yellow Pages. From cover to cover, we cover it all. The Ameritech Pages Plus, published by Donnelly Directory.
Yeah, Murph 76 versus Bob's Gas, and tonight belongs to Bob.
Say, Bob, you hear that 76 gasolines have been improved?
Improved how? Got an additive that helps keep carburetors cleaner.
You know, Bob, at 76, people pay the same price, cash or credit.
Yeah, well, at least we don't have a girl on our team, huh?
With the spirit.
No, you don't have that either, Bob.
The spirit of 76.
You know, when I was looking for a lawn tractor, I wanted something I could depend on for superb cutting and easy handling. And I found it with a Cub Cadet. It's built tractor tough.
With an extra deep cutting deck, side discharges, or bags the clippings. And with twin cast iron cylinders, I've got 16 horsepower of smooth running power.
I can't think of anything that'll stop me and my Cub Cadet. I just thought of something.
Cub Cadet, one tough tractor.
Who's having a baby?
We both are.
It's a lesson in the birds and the bees on the next Charles in Charge.
Saturday night at 5 on Channel 9. A participating advertiser in the Cubs is the Chicago Tribune. A great city deserves a great newspaper.
Steve Stone along with Bill Murray. Well, you've really sparked the ball club today, big guy. You enjoying it?
Well, I was just fortunate, you know. It's no one guy does it alone. I can't take all the credit. There's certainly other players to thank. We've been laughing in the radio with Sutcliffe. the guy's mind is completely gone. I mean, he's basically replaying his stolen bases and base hitting. His hitting in his mind up there. I hope he can pitch the rest of the game.
Long drive to right field, but Andre Dawson over a few steps, and he makes the catch. That retires Vance Law.
Well, those were a great couple innings. That was fun for Andre Dawson, I bet, to take the extra base on his old team when they. That must have felt good. I bet he feels about 7 inches taller than he did a couple days ago.
A lot of excitement in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Cubs tack 4 on the board, and Tom Foley steps up. He's 0 for 2. So you have some fun on the radio side?
Well, you have to be better behaved. You know, Jim and Lou are better behaved than you are.
That's what happens, huh?
They told me to get serious now. We could have some more foolishness later if we could only get Wallach out in the top of the 6th. So we did, and then we got foolish and scored 4 runs.
Well, a lot of fun for the Cubs today. They lead 7-0.
Well, I guaranteed this victory, if you remember correctly,
Yes,
Steve.
you did.
I'm on record. I think it's too nice a day here to lose.
Cubs with 10 hits, the Expos only 2.
Yeah.
2-1 count.
That Eric Gregg looks good with his own knee pads on, doesn't he?
And he's calling a fine game. You know, now you have to come every day. The Cubs are undefeated with you in the booth if they hold on, which seemingly behind Rick Sutcliffe they will. High bounder. Sandberg right there. He makes the play easily and quickly. 2 up and 2 down.
Steve, what was your best hitting day in the majors?
Dave Rader, then catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals with Pete Falcone on the mound, told me a curveball was coming, and Dave was an old teammate of mine, so I leaned over the plate looking for it, hit the ball right off the plate. It came and split my lip. That was one of the hardest hit balls of my career, Bill. And your old buddy, Herman Winningham, steps up. He's 0 for 2.
Oh, Herman!
Takes the strike.
Takes the strike.
What do you have in that little book there?
Oh, I made a list of people I wanted to say hello to. I can't find it.
All the family get here intact?
I saw one friend of mine, Bubba Phillips, down there. I don't think any of my family ever survived. I think they probably had an argument at home and never left. Who knows? I can't see any of them out there. I would think they would be sort of sprawled across their seats by now. I can't see anybody down there. I want to say hello to Dick Blasucci, who's probably watching out in California. We used to do a scene at Second City where the rain delay scene of the guys in the booth having interviewed everyone, including the traveling secretary, interview the hot dog man. I wish he were here to enjoy this 7-zip ball game. Whoops.
Fine drive, right center field. Dave Martinez on the run. He's got the ball on the hop, but Winningham in with the 3rd Expo hit.
Well, he cut that off. He's fast, isn't he, Dave Martinez?
That'll bring up a pinch hitter.
What's all the hollering about?
John Stafaro, former catcher with the Baltimore Orioles. Last year with the Orioles, he hit .233. Spent some time in Rochester, and that's somebody in your family?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. That's my Aunt Jean. Hi, that's my Aunt Jean. Well, she came.
I like the hairstyle. You got to appreciate that.
Well, she's bald underneath that. It's really kind of a style thing. Yeah.
Sad story?
Well, it's not a sad story. She just tried so many different hair colors and conditioners that it basically all fell out. She tried some sort of a miracle thing that some guy traveling door to door came with, and it didn't work.
0-1 count on Stafaro. That evens the count at 1-1. Rick Sutcliffe doing a fine job.
How many do they hold in here for football in Wrigley Field?
Arnie says 42 when they used to play here.
Gee, it'd be great to have a game in here. This must be kind of a ghosty place in the winter. I mean, if you live in this neighborhood, you see those houses. To have this big place in here completely empty for half the year.
But look at the bright side. You can always get a good seat.
Well, yeah, that is bright. Thing.
2-2 count on Stafaro. Top of the order, and Casey Candell in the batter's box in the on-deck circle. There's a good look at John Stafaro. They all came out to see you and hear you today. Standing room only on the terrace.
That's not true. That's a rent-controlled apartment. That's all. That's one family. Those are the O'Grady's. Those are the cousins. Big family. Hey, did they do the Better Buick commercial yet? The Better Buick guys are your sponsors, right?
One of them.
I've been seeing Walter Payton do this. Well, here's the pitch. Let's watch the pitch. Ding! Oh, come on, Eric. No way, huh? Yeah, come on, waking up. Hey, how about some grape nuts for breakfast, pal? Straighten up.
So what do you think of Walter on the commercial?
Well, Walter's pretty good on the commercial, actually. I've just always been confused by that whole concept of the Better Buick. I mean, where are the worst Buicks going? Oh, he's running. He's out.
He got him. No runs, a hit, no errors, and one left. And after 6.5, it's all Cubs, 7-0.
Cubs fans, we're all waiting for Harry to return very soon, but until he's back with us in the friendly confines, let's take our 7th inning stretch and sing along with his classic recording of Harry's greatest hit.
Let me hear you, everybody. A 1, a 2, a 3. Me out to the ball. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Oh, it's root, root, root for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame. Let me hear you. For it's the old ball game.
All right, let me have your attention, guys. It's time to play.
This buzz for all that you do.
Like many before, you came here asking for just one thing, a chance.
Sadowski.
Shivolsky.
What?
It's pronounced Shivolsky.
You're here to make a new start, but starting out the hard part. Whatever the test, you give it your best. You show you got the heart, 'cause you make America work, and this buzz for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that makes Budweiser the king of beers.
Hey, Sid.
You make America work, and this buzz for you.
Steve Stone back with inhibited Bill Murray.
There's Peggy and her.
And Leon Durham to lead off the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, Bill, you having fun yet?
Well, I finally found some of my relatives. They appear to have arrived. My sister and my cousin Kevin and his wife Kathy. So it's not a total disaster.
No, it's not.
I want to see Leon hit one. Oh!
Well, he's not going to hit one this time because Bill Campbell completely fooled him.
Well, what happened there? The ball popped out of the catcher's glove and...
Yeah, but the bull decided that he'd just take a walk back. That'll bring up Jody Davis, who's going to get quite a hand today. 3 for 3. He homered in the 2nd inning, doubled in the 4th, singled in the 6th. He scored 3 times. He's knocked in 2 runs. Quite an afternoon for the man from Gainesville, Georgia. You're watching exciting Chicago Cubs baseball over WGN-TV Channel 9 in Chicago, America's #1 sports station. Bill Campbell on the mound. He's the 3rd Expo pitcher.
Move.
Jody
Get out.
pops it up.
Get out of play.
Johnson coming over.
Keep going.
Back in the seat. Well, what'd you think of that ejection of Floyd Yeomans in the 4th inning?
I missed some of it. I thought he could have gone a little further, actually. You hate to see somebody get thrown out of the game, especially when the Cubs are hitting him. You know, I was hoping he'd stick around and we could hit him a little more. I think it was unfortunate that he had to leave in such a hurry. I missed the first part. I mean, it wasn't that close, was it? There's a base hit. Come on.
Into right field, base hit for Jody, and he's 4 for 4. He might insist that you come back every day.
Here's a pitch. I talked to Jody and told him to swing something like this. Oh, that's nice. Sorry about that. Just handcuffed him. Handcuffed him. 4 for 4, yeah. He and Sutcliffe are going to be playing this tape over and over again at home.
That'll bring up Dave Martinez, who's had a tough afternoon. He's 0 for 3. And a breaking ball misses high. Dave hasn't had the ball out of the infield yet. He's struck out and popped up a couple times.
I want this guy to hit. I'm going to try and send some sort of... Let's all try to send some good, happy vibes towards Dave Martinez so he hits this thing. He took some good cuts up there before.
2-0 count. Bill Campbell on the mound gave up 4 hits in the 6th inning. Charged with 4 runs. And he falls behind 3-0.
All right, Dave. You got 3 free swings here. Do you think they'll turn him loose, Steve Stone?
I don't think they're going to turn him loose. I think the team would like to see him at first base.
Okay.
He takes a fastball down the middle, but now he's going to turn him loose.
Jody Davis has raised his batting average. 141.6. Dave Martinez hits it hard, but whoa! Making it exciting out in right field for us. Well, he hit that ball good anyway. That's a good sign.
I like the fielding style of Mitch Webster.
Yeah, well, I can do that kind of thing too, but usually only after I've had a couple of drinks. Go for it, Mitch. Now, he should have rolled onto his back and spun around once, but he still did make the catch.
That'll bring up Sean Dunston, who's getting a good hand. Jody at 381. Started at 235 today. 4 for 4. And Dunston's having a good day. He's 2 for 3, a single and a double, and he scored a run. Breaking ball misses low and away. Outfield around toward left center field.
Let's see if I can go find him.
Oh, I'd like to see Dunston run a little bit. Why don't you hit one into the right field corner, Schwan? Not quite.
Tried to, even up at 1-1. Little Cub fan up on the runway. Is that a friend of yours?
Yeah, he threw a baseball at me and he hit you in the back. I'm sorry.
No.
Kind of thing happens. It's a funny game and you never know which way the ball's going to bounce. Ooh.
Swing and a miss. Good screwball by Campbell.
Boy, what was that? I hope he's not hurt.
Evaluate this swing, Bill.
I don't know what happened there. Well, it looked like a little bit of landscaping to me. It doesn't matter as long as he's not out is the important thing. I just wanted to see him hit one into the corner so he can run a little bit. I don't think Shawan has had enough exercise today, frankly. I'd like to see him get a little bit of exercise, and a shot into the right field corner would help.
1-2 count on Dunston. 2 out, bottom of the 7th.
He fouls it
Pops it straight back. It's all Cubs so far. They lead 7-0. They've out-hit the Expos 11-3. Good look at the former Cub, Bill Campbell.
Do you miss him?
Not the way he's thrown today. Breaking ball misses upstairs.
You think they're going to send Jody Davis?
I got a feeling they'll keep him at first base.
I think he should just work on his tan over there. I would reverse his hat and try and get as much of a tan with that mask. You get such a funny-looking tan anyway. There's a ground.
Down the line. Tim Wallach up with it.
Whoa!
And the ball's into the runner. Sean Dunston on his way to second.
Sean.
And there you had a chance to see him run.
Yeah. I like that. That was kind of like running from the police, but it was the same thing.
Wants it again.
Here's Sean. So he's got to sprint to get to first to even make it close, right? Here's Wallach. He gauges the throw. He throws it, and boing. Off the bag, and here's Shawan having to sprint to second. There's Jody really moving, digging the third, and Shawan sprints to second. They're getting a little exercise. Come on, Shawan. Shawan doesn't think much. He goes right for it. The screams are for Rick Sutcliffe, the most powerful man on the Cub lineup today. Ding! He was going for the wall. He was trying to hit the cycle today. And they're making an exciting in right field.
And Webster comes over to make the catch.
Mitch Webster, a disappointing and boring catch for us in right field. We thought he was going to do some more of his style stuff.
No runs, a hit, an error, and 2 left. We're through 7. Cubs up 7-0.
Now, True Test Easy Care comes in 2 new finishes to give you 3 ways to paint your home's interior. True Value hardware stores recommend original Easy Care latex flat enamel in any room because its beautiful low sheen finish scrubs clean. Or get the decorator look with new Easy Care latex flat paint, the velvet finish that washes and wears. And for smooth durability, choose new scrubbable Easy Care latex semi-gloss from participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Most newspapers don't have their own foreign correspondents. Most newspapers don't have a Washington bureau or keep as many columnists and local reporters on staff. But Chicago has always been known as a great newspaper town, and at the Tribune, we intend to keep it that way. A great city deserves a great newspaper, the Chicago Tribune.
Your better Buick dealers challenge Japan with Buick LeSabre, the great American value. Compare the full-size LeSabre to a comparably equipped Nissan Maxima SE sedan. You save over $2,000. Compare LeSabre to Toyota's Cressida LS sedan. You save over $4,000. The front-wheel drive Buick LeSabre, sticker priced from just $13,616, and now with special cash incentives plus Buick's 6-year, 60,000-mile warranty. See your better Buick dealer today.
You're a runaway, out of money, out of friends, out of luck. What would you do?
Monday night at 7 on Channel 9.
Jack Rosenberg. Well, my mother has finally arrived at the ballpark, and there's liquor on her breath once again. Now, what's the story? What took you so long to get here?
Well, we've been down there. You just couldn't see us. We were below you, and there was some mix-up on the tickets, and that's what
right.
happened.
Well, the guys from Joliet, the penal institution of Joliet managed to make themselves known. Where have you been for 7.5 innings? How can this happen? You're
Well, we've been in hiding. We've been in hiding down there.
And there was some mix-up with the tickets, and there was a fight, and somebody started pushing, and the next thing you know, the officers had handcuffs on you.
No, we all got seated and everything was fine.
If the Cubs weren't winning, I'd be pretty upset.
I know it. You're doing a great job, you guys.
Well,
You're doing a
there are a lot of
wonderful
people
job
that
of putting this in, I think.
Oops. Oh, Bull Durham. Thank you, Bull. Thank you. Kendall, frustrated again. Show us that again, please. Look at this. Look at this, Mom. This is the kind of stuff you've been missing all day long. Look at this. There's Bull going to his right. There's no chance. Miraculously, he pulls it out. This is the kind of excitement that's been going on here all day while you were in the drunk tank over on Halsted Street. Terrible. Terrible.
No, we've been downstairs.
This is Mitch Webster. Have you seen the acrobatic stuff he's been doing? He's been break fielding out in the outfield. It's been exciting. Look at him. He skies it. Jody, it's all you. Oh, my favorite, the pop to the catcher. My favorite play in baseball, the pop to the catcher. You've missed this kind of excitement all day. Were you out there with those kids that were stealing the hubcaps outside?
No. I was out there with your son, and we did start upstairs to come up here to the skybox to talk to you.
I could have sworn I saw you out there earlier. Arnie, did you see my mother out there watching with us, Kurt?
No, but
a woman
we
that looked
didn't
like her,
want to come all
What's
the way
that
up
fire truck doing there? Do you have something to do with that? Did you set a fire out there again?
No, I didn't do it.
You weren't throwing matches in the garbage again, were you?
I really didn't do it. Not this time.
All right, well, all right. I'm going to have to take your... What are we going to do? Take your word for it. We were all here at the game.
Well, as long as the Cubs win, it'll be okay. You can take my word for it.
Oh, yeah, say that, and we're all going to think you're okay
They're going to win today, and it'll be a great day, right?
Yeah, it is a great day.
Beautiful day out here. Beautiful day.
It would have been nicer if you hadn't gone off on one of your sprees again. Could have been here all day with us, enjoying the game.
I hope everybody doesn't believe you.
Well, it only matters
I
if a
hope
couple
nobody
people
believes
believe
you.
me.
In fact,
If only one person out there believes, it's enough.
Was Bill raised by wolves, or did you raise him? I mean, is this how it turned out, huh?
I tried. I did my best.
Wallace Johnson with 2 out in the 8th.
Ding. Come on, get it, Rhino. Hoyo. The Golden Glove.
And Rick Sutcliffe out of the 8th inning. 3 up and 3 down. We head into the bottom of the 8th with the Cubs on top, 7-0.
Oh, what a nice feeling.
With every Budweiser enjoyed, the promise endures. The promise of genuine quality. Without compromise, without fail. Beechwood aged Budweiser and Bud Light. Genuine proof that somebody still and always will care about quality. And that is a promise.
Don't you yearn to go where the sun still shines? Find a quiet spot by the waterline. Close your eyes, recline, soak up the sunshine.
Fly United to the sun. Spend some long and lazy days basking in those warm rays. Let United take you where you yearn to go.
We are your sunshine. Shine on friendly skies.
Did you ever notice how sometimes with unleaded regular gasoline, even your new car can feel like an old clunker? All that knocking and pinging can wither your youthful enthusiasm quickly. But there is a gasoline that can prevent all that. Super 76, a premium unleaded.
Fill her up, Sonny.
It's got the kind of high-octane performance that can help prevent cars from aging prematurely.
Fill her up with spirit.
Super 76 unleaded.
Spirit of 76.
Is Project X just Top Gun with chimps? Find out this week on At the Movies.
Saturday night at 6:30 on Channel 9.
Good.
And we're back.
We're
Bill
back
Murray.
with Rick Parrott on the mound.
And Jeff Parrott.
Jeff Parrott
His
on the
brother's
mound.
Rick Parrott.
I was talking to Rick Tellender. I'm sorry, I thought it was Rick Parrott. But I just know that this guy was asking for any kind of breaded goods, crackers. Jeff Parrott on the mound. What kind of name is that? Wait a minute, that's another of my relatives. They all show up eventually. They generally surface at the ballpark and the airport, those 2 places. I'm sorry for any distraction that my mother may have caused in the booth today.
How many kids do you have in the family?
Well, my mother had 9 kids. That's the real problem. That's where the real problems began. So I have all these brothers and sisters that are all, well, certainly a big part of the Joliet contingent that came today, and they're out there in the seats there today. And she thinks that just because she had 9 kids and they're all working, that she gets a free ride for the rest of her life, and that's not true. She's going to be scrubbing floors later this evening somewhere.
She said, "Oh yes, it is."
Oh yes, it is, huh? You think you're a real big deal just because you cook 7 days a week for 35 years. All right, here's Chico Walker. Excuse me, Mom, we've got a game here. Chico Walker fouls him back into the, not far from where my sister Peggy was sitting. And those are some of my relatives screaming at the poor ball girl who's just trying to do a job. She's got good speed. She could run for Jody Davis in an emergency.
In a big emergency, yes.
I guess so, but she certainly isn't going to hit for him. Not when he's 4 for 4. I'd like to see Chico Walker run a little bit. Chico, exercise, baby! I'd like to see him put one in a corner somewhere. Ooh, nice cut. He was trying to tie up this game with one swing of the bat, wasn't he, Steve?
Yes. A strong swing of the bat.
Yeah, 7-0 Cubs. I don't know how he could have done it, but if he could have, he was trying to with that swing. Ooh, he takes one.
Jeff Parrott, 6'3", 200 pounds. Last year, split his year between Indianapolis and Montreal. Through 12 games for the Expos, 4.87 ERA. That's a good fastball. Originally came out of the Baltimore Orioles system.
Whoa, it's right to us! Oh! I can't believe it! I can't believe it!
Just this far from greatness. Just this far from greatness.
I should throw this thing away. Dang it! I don't believe it. It's your fault. man's mother should never follow him to work. I should have had that ball. Where were you, Steve? At least you played in the majors. It was right at you. It hit Jack's typewriter, for heaven's sake.
Very close, yes.
Believe it.
So Chico Walker goes
I'm sorry,
down on
Chico. Thank you for thinking of us anyway.
Jack has a dented typewriter because your hands.
Ryan Sandberg is up. I'm sorry. Well, if we're a little giddy up here, it's because we've ended this 4-game losing skein. Or is it skein? It's a skein, isn't it? All right, now Ryan Sandberg takes a ball. It's necessary for him. He's wearing the collar so far. He's 0 for 4 today. It's necessary. I mean, this guy was in the whirlpool a couple hours ago, having the time of his life, and he hasn't gotten a hit today.
I like that terminology, wearing the collar.
Yeah.
8 innings, you got it down.
That's all right. Sometimes those balls look as big as grapefruits coming up there, don't they, Steve?
And sometimes?
Sometimes they don't. All right, this darn net had better be ready. There's a hit to the right side. Oh, Rhino. Right to him, unfortunately. It's a 4-3 putout. For those of you who are scoring at home. How many of you people at home are scoring? Can we hear from you? Come on, let's hear from you. How many people at home scoring? Okay, how many people at home aren't scoring? Can we hear from you folks? Okay, this one is. All right, Andre Dawson is finally getting some real cheers here at Wrigley Field. A little excitement his last time at bat. He's finally getting some respect in this town. Hopefully he'll be able to walk into a restaurant without a reservation and sit right down from now on. Come on, Andy. You know, this Andre thing, you know, Andre Rogers was the last big Andre in this town, and I don't think anyone can ever replace him. I think maybe he should go with Andy Dawson. What do you think?
Don't forget Andre Thornton.
That's true, but the tragedy about Andre Thornton is that Andre went to the Cleveland Indians, where he started to really hit big. Whose fault was the Andre Thornton trade, anyway? Lou Boudreau. Lou's over there. Somebody... Jim Fry might know. Who's responsible? Maybe if you know the answer to who's responsible for the Andre Thornton trade, could you call us here? Andre Dawson grounds to the third. Wallach getting a lot of action this afternoon, throws him out.
And 3 up and 3 down. Bill Murray and I will move on to the 9th inning with Sutcliffe coasting along, and at the end of 8, 7-0 Cubs.
Looking out for #1. Introducing the new limited edition Toyota trucks with the options you want. Free chrome bumpers, front and rear.
Didn't cost a cent.
Full carpeting, cloth bench seats.
Not a penny more.
Sport striping, style steel wheels.
Comes with the truck.
The limited edition Toyota trucks. Only $69.98. For a limited time only, get valuable options.
Free.
Who could ask for anything more?
I'll have a burger with everything and a large fry.
Something to drink?
Yeah, a Coke. I meant a Pepsi.
If you want great refreshment, just say what you mean.
Make that 2 Pepsis?
Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
Kincaid is proud to present the classics. These beautiful bypass tub doors can harmonize with any decor. Made of tempered safety glass, they have a silver-finished aluminum frame that glides easily. And they're available for a song at Builders Square. Just $149. Affordable classics from Kincaid at Builders Square. Because the more we sell, the lower the price. The lower the price, the more we sell.
It's not a new dance, it's not a new mall, and it's not a new car that runs on air. But it is big, and it's going to get bigger. Lotto 7, the really big money.
A participating advertiser in Cubs baseball is Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
There's a base hit to center. This doesn't look good. I don't like the look of this. Base hit to center by Wallach. He's, boy, I hate that guy. He really hits the Cubs terribly. That's 4 hits for them now. That's too many.
Take another look at it.
Oh, come on. Sutcliffe, up there obviously thinking about his hitting and base running today, is not concentrating, and Wallach is able to get a stupid single to center. This isn't right.
The 4th base hit of the day.
Michael ought to go out there and talk to him and settle him down. Jody, somebody get out there and reason with this guy. Uh-oh, it's Louis Rivera.
Sutcliffe trying to complete his first game since June 13th of '86 and wrap up his first shutout since May 26th of '86. The shutout came against Cincinnati, the complete game against St. Louis.
No.
Brian Dayette is taken over in right field. One of your favorite players, Luis Rivera.
Well, I'm glad that Foley is gone. Is Foley gone? Is he hitting for Foley, or who's he hitting for?
Hitting for Reed.
Well, okay. Martinez is shaded around to left. Here's a pitch from Sutcliffe. Strike! Swinging strike. The swinging K for Luis Rivera. Adios, Senor Rivera. The courtesy of Rick Sutcliffe. Huh? Manny Trio is in as a defensive replacement. I talked to Manny before the game. I said, I've enjoyed you for many years. He said, hey, man, lighten up. Cut that out. You're still a good glove man. You can hit the long ball.
Occasionally.
In an emergency. In an emergency. It's skied. Nothing but sun in the glasses out there, but Dave Martinez gets it.
Sutcliffe now 1 out away from a shutout, big guy.
Hey, wait a minute, Steve. I'm starting to enjoy this job, and it's going to be over in about one pitch. I mean, the Cubs are going to take their first win at home, and the fans are standing up to appreciate it.
You getting goosebumps?
Well, it's not quite the same as that second game against the Padres, but it'll do.
Tom Foley takes a breaking ball inside. He's 0 for 3.
Sutcliffe's going to get a complete game out of this unless he completely loses his mind. He's got to feel good. And all those people out on Waveland and Sheffield Avenue invited people over for the game today have now got these people all written off their guest list for the summer and can invite the rest of the relatives out to see another Cub victory. They're screaming. Louder! Scream louder! Ooh. Was this that horrible Tom Foley? Come on, Foley.
You might be revolutionizing play-by-play. It's an interesting approach.
Foley! Foley, I hate everything you stand for. Oh, come on! Come on, what's with that crazy Eric Gregg? This guy. Where's he staying? What hotel's he at? Come on, Rick. Good night. Goodbye, everybody. Wahoo! Wahoo, McDaniel!
Rick Sutcliffe wraps up the shutout, and that is a happy young man on the mound. Jody Davis, congratulations all around. Sutcliffe threw a 4-hit shutout at the Montreal Expos. The final score is 7-0. And Bill Murray and I will be back after these messages.
That was great.
Tonight.
Talk fast. Who's having a baby?
We both are. Don't get excited, Mom. It's just a school project.
Things sure have changed since I was in junior high.
It's a lesson in the birds and the bees on Charles in Charge. Then,
I want to be independent. She wants to buy clothes.
calling all cars, a day on the picket line means a night in jail. And the Russians gone mad. And Bob's been bad. On What a Country. All tonight.
This bud's for all that you do.
It could be any time now.
No, Bill had to leave. Can I help you?
A friend is counting on you.
Need copies by 4:30.
I'll cover it for him.
Not a word.
You keep on coming through, 'cause you make America work, and this bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This bud's for you.
For a town that calls itself the city that works, Chicago's always been a great place to play. On any given day or night, there are literally thousands of things to do. How do you sort it all out? More and more people reach for the Chicago Tribune.
If you were to assemble a group of the world's most exotic sports cars, this car would not be among them. That's because Buick Skyhawk is a sporty car for the real world. Fuel injection, turbo, fun to drive, of course. But Skyhawk has the heart and soul of a Buick, so it can take life's everyday challenges swiftly in stride. Skyhawk from Buick, where better really matters.
Oh, thank God they won.
It's the Budweiser play of the game. Jody Davis up in the second inning. Leon Durham on base. Jody Davis rockets the ball deep. His second home run of the year. RBIs 3 and 4. This is the game-winning RBI, and that's the Budweiser play of the game. I'm back with Bill Murray, and you'd have to say, folks, it was quite an experience. Not only the first Cub win in Wrigley Field, but a chance to hear Bill Murray doing play-by-play. And how'd you come out of this one?
Well, thank God they won. I mean, the most horrible sound of my youth was listening to Jack Brickhouse after the game, and that sound of people popping empty cups, turning them upside down and popping them after a Cub loss. It haunted me, and all I hoped was that I wouldn't have to hear that sound today. Instead, we've got a bunch of ugly people down here just screaming and hollering because the Cubs won.
Well, the last man who guaranteed a victory was Joe Namath, guaranteeing a victory over the Baltimore Colts. You came out today and boldly predicted that the Cubs would win this one. You got to feel real happy.
Well, I was in the locker room. I had advanced knowledge. I knew that they were all clean and they were rested and ready. They had decent suntans they'd managed to hang on to from Arizona, and I just felt really good about today's game. I'm glad Rick did so well because, frankly, he owes me money anyway, and this is good for me.
Well, Bill, we thank you very much. I know Harry does. Thank you for sitting in.
Harry, we called Harry later, and he was driving some, let's just say he was occupied again out at the pool.
Stay with us. We'll be back with the wrap-up after these messages.
Do you ever notice how sometimes with unleaded regular gasoline, even your new car can feel like an old clunker? All that knocking and pinging can wither your youthful enthusiasm quickly. But there is a gasoline that can prevent all that. Super 76, a premium unleaded.
Fill her up, Sonny.
It's got the kind of high-octane performance that can help prevent cars from aging prematurely.
Fill her up with spirit.
Super 76 unleaded.
The spirit of 76.
True Value Hardware, it's more than a name.
Come to grips with your work with the Servest 3-piece solid joint pliers set. It includes 6.5-inch diagonal, 6.5-inch long nose, and 7-inch linesman's pliers. In April, the Servest 3-piece pliers set is just $5.99. Look for the banner at participating True Value Hardware stores.
True Value.
It was excitement with a capital E.
It's not a new dance.
Suddenly, quite suddenly, I was the most popular guy on the block.
It's not the power to travel through time.
Well, when it happened, I was baking a pie. And you know, I never finished that pie.
And it's not Bigfoot. But it is big, and it's going to get bigger. Lotto 7, the really big money.
This season, keep an eye out for the Consort Control Pitcher Award ratings. It's an excellent measure of a pitcher's skill and control created by the people that control men's hair. Consort. The final totals: no runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for Montreal, 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors for the Cubs. A happy day at Wrigley Field. The winning pitcher, Rick Sutcliffe, he's now 2-1. The losing pitcher, the starter, Floyd Yeomans, he's now 0-2. Well, that's it from Wrigley Field. Stay tuned for the 10th inning after these messages.
Chicago Cubs baseball has been brought to you in part by Budweiser from Anheuser-Busch, True Value Hardware, your neighborhood Unical 76 dealers, Buick and your Buick dealers, Canon Cameras, United Airlines, and your Chicagoland Toyota dealers.
Well, let me tell you
Our next televised game on Channel 9 will be between the Chicago Cubs and the Montreal Expos Sunday afternoon. Our telecast begins with leadoff man at 1 o'clock. Our executive producer-director has been Arnie Harris.
Well, he did a fabulous job.
Our assistant director, Joe Corneo.
Where was he all day? I didn't see him once.
Our sports editor, Jack Rosenberg.
Ms. Rosenberg, everything's okay. He's going to be all right. He's okay.
Chicago is
It wasn't as bad as it looked. He's okay.
my kind of town. Chicago is
Boy, it's sure nice when they win.
kind of
Sure nice when they win, Bill. Even the credits look better when they win.
Thanks. But especially Rick Sutcliffe for his base running today.
The final score, the Cubs 7, the Expos nothing. This has been a WGN Television 9 sports presentation.
Even with all you do to keep your family healthy, you may be overlooking something that could cause illness. Roaches, now proven to carry at least 6 known diseases. Call Orkin, because Orkin has protected more homes from disease-carrying pests than anyone on Earth. That's why they're #1. And they'll make your home safe from pests or your money back. Call Orkin today. For pests, they just might be all the protection you'll ever need.
Big international banker out of London. We shared a cab from Kennedy. He was on a stopover on his way to Hong Kong. Fresh from the land of deregulation and the Big Bang. Anyway, according to him, anyone wearing a pair of wingtips and a power tie is in the banking business in London now. And nobody outside the business knows anything about the business, least of all computer companies.
Thanks.
So I said, let me fix you up with some of our banking people in Hong Kong while you're there. Fix them up with a Wang PBX, a VS, consultant help, Swift, market feeds network, soup to nuts, US, UK, Hong Kong, Upper Volta, anywhere he wants. So I arranged a meeting. I got a call this morning. He's going with us in a $10 million banking system. Nice little cab ride, huh?
From beyond your imagination comes the future of photography. More than a camera, it's Canon EOS. EOS, the ultimate autofocus SLR.
So fast and easy.
High-performance autofocus with any lens. EOS, great shots were never.
So simple.
EOS, more than autofocus, more than ever. New from Canon.
I'm Tom Skilling. Is it possible we have the warmest air of the season on the way? It looks that way just in time for the holiday weekend. We'll have the full holiday forecast tonight on the 9 o'clock news.
Hey, Ernie.
Welcome to the 10th inning. Pandemonium has broken loose here at Wrigley Field with Bill Murray sitting next to me, but the day belonged to Rick Sutcliffe. He threw a 4-hit shutout today, the first complete game and the first shutout since the middle of 1986. Bill Murray certainly helped out the cause. He guaranteed the win, and we'll be back with more scores and highlights after these messages.
Making tough jobs easier takes one tough tractor Cub Cadet. Just put us to the test. We're one tough tractor Cub Cadet.
Automatic drive makes handling easy. A cast iron front axle and a farm-engineered transmission makes it last. For doing the chores you need to do, it's Cub Cadet. One tough tractor. At your Cub Cadet dealer.
Our kids are growing up in this confusing, contradictory, even dangerous world. Millions of them are finding it tough to cope. We want to find out why. Why more and more kids are running away, having babies, getting high, hurting others, or even killing themselves. Tough questions with tough answers. Meet these kids, hear their stories, see their nightmare live, and learn how you can help.
Monday night at 7 on Channel 9.
The highlights of today's game have to include Eric Gregg behind the plate, finally appearing in something resembling human clothing. And then Jody Davis taking it deep, and I mean deep, to left center field. This guy's hitting the ball like he's got some sort of vendetta. Here's Andre Dawson trying to make good against his old teammates. Up against it! Attaboy, Andre. Hey, don't mess with the ivy. Jody Davis again. Whoops. Style points out into the gap in left center field. A left field facial for the Montreal Expos left fielder Kendall. Rick Sutcliffe at the plate. Look out. He can hit the ball, folks. But that isn't anything. I hope the next one we see is Rick at first base after driving Jody. And Jody, make it close. Jody, what speed? Jody, you know, Rick also pitched today. He did do some pitching. He allowed 4 hits, but he did have 3 RBIs today. Another hit. This is his double off the wall that drives in 2 runs. Are we going to see a stolen base, Arnie? That's what they really want to see. There's Jody making it exciting at home. And there's Dawson. And here's Andy Dawson, I like to call him, driving it to left center. And against his old teammates, proving that the knee still works, taking second base. And then Rhino coming home for the score. Oh, man. Hey, come on, Expos. We taught that one in Legion Ball. Come on.
I think you'll agree you've never seen the highlights done quite like that. And we're going to be back with the scores after these messages.
7-0.
7 a.m. Time to put on the game face and step into the power suit. It's called gearing up in America. He's got American written all over him, right down to his clothes. The American look. Get it at Richmond Brothers.
Dacron wool spring suits, just $159 this week at Richmond Brothers.
No, Americans want big cars, small cars, better built cars.
The big 3 automakers do have their differences.
Better performance, better mileage, better built cars.
But there is one thing they do agree on, Citgo oil. In fact, all 3 chose Citgo for new cars right off the assembly line. And if these guys can agree on Citgo, shouldn't you?
Let me call you sweetheart. I'm in love with you.
Hello fast, hello hot, just a little is all I got.
Say hello to a fast meal hot deal from Taco Bell. A burrito supreme and our regular taco for just $1.79. The fast meal hot deal.
You try steaking now.
Now just $1.79. Be there.
We've got a partial score for you. Toronto 7-5 over Boston in the 6th inning. Jesse Barfield has hit a home run in that one. Once again, Bill, we want to thank you. You were terrific.
Steve, people said to me, Steve Stone is the most overrated man in the business, and I think it's not true. You're the most underrated guy in the entire industry.
I appreciate that, and I'll give you the money later. That's it from Wrigley Field. See you Sunday.
An Easter Sunday special presentation. Richard Burton stars in The Road. Sunday night at 6 on Channel 9.